you end up in jail, coconut gun.
Look what they made me do. Look what the little boy had to do. Look what the little boy had to do. The little boy had to broadcast his audio right there. One more time. Because the little boy with the big audio is getting down. Little boy, look at me go.
That little boy getting kind of violent up there. Little boy is getting kind of violent, sending people up to jail. Worldwide 553 looking for conditions. Break around Fresno.
And I'll put them all in the boom boom room. I'll put them all in the boom boom room. I'll put them all up in the boom boom room. Because the little boy is getting down. The little boy is getting down. Watch me go.
Hey, little boy, can you hear Fresno, California with that big toy? Little boy, can you copy Fresno with this little toy? Worldwide 553, got down waving, break.
Right there, right back, 301. Hey, Mojave. Hey, Mojave, there. I put it right there, all up in the air. Because the little boy is on the band. Look at me get down.
Little boy, we're not in Mojave, we're here in the Fresno, California, little boy, we're here in California. I'm trying to get in contact with you out there, break.
23, mini glass, aloha. I like how you wave and I like how you get down and clear my radio. Dig here, 301. I like how you clear his arm. How the little boy receives. Little boy on the Big Island, bum bum. Dig here, 301. I like how you clear his arm. How the little boy receives.
Go,
No 111. No get back 111. 23 in the grass. I'm clear gone.
Hey, 61, let's see if we can make this work. Give it a shot.
61, take it in, Dennis.
All right, 61, that'll get us started off. I got you, Dino.
99, 33, that's me.
It is definitely wacky. Let's do the best we can here.
99, talk to your radio, because here I come, here I go.
Dennis, be sure and get 650 for me.
All right, I will do that.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
And I'm a little late getting into the air chair, but I am here. Jingle singers are ready. The radios are ready, I know. And the SWL's wondering what is going on with the gray line. But that is what happens here sometimes. I think the A and K indexes are back where they should be, and all is well. Hello, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's going in the dark. My name is Dennis. We'll get the net started with the directed net roll call check-in, and then we will go from there. Hopefully procuring your favorite tube radios from 1958 to 1968 in the Class D Citizen Radio Service, if they will stop by tonight. It was a nice day here. It was cold and rainy. It felt like winter again, but all is well here on 27085. So I will stop right now. We'll see if we can get anybody that needs an early check-in. We've got a couple of those, and maybe by that time the skip will be died down, and we will catch everyone. So we've got 61 for an early, and 650 and 53. The legend. Who else needs an early check-in?
Carson Station.
56.
All right, just for kicks, 56 making it through. I got you, Phil. No problem.
Thank you, Dennis.
24.
And 24, sounding good. Let you go do what you need to do. But thanks for stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network.
We got
He's on out of here. They call me Big Shot. I'm rocking on.
And the signals are big, so I give it 5 to 10 minutes, and they'll all be out of here. What I'll do, I will get 00. I know I can hear 00 because he's on the Universal Media NetWeb stream.
Putting down all them bushes up in my...
That would be Felix. And this is week 8, it says, of the 8-week period. He's done a good job. SWL number 1, of course, and also SWL number 2, getting everybody checked in. And Mr. OBP is here, and You can let him know that he's 9 pounds and good modulation. Chestnut and Herndon and everywhere else. SWL3, I've got a proxy check in for Rob that takes us to Levon, SWL5, and he is around. He's saying hello to the stations, the items of interest. And I think I heard this guy, SWL7.
SWL7, checking in.
I'm checking to see if I can get my audio to work here. It was working. Okay, I think I'm working now. 7, you're sounding good. Over.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You got a hippo or a kangaroo?
Just trying to mark my sheet. Is the Echo Link turned on? Oh, you know what? It is, let me see. I've got to disconnect. Oh, and I'm having a problem with this computer where the Echo Link is, so let me undo that. And you heard that. Okay, it's probably okay now. It's going to be a little slow because I can't use the mouse for some unknown reason, but now it should be good. And there it is. All right, thanks. And Mr. Ed, we got you. Over.
That was a hippo or a damn kangaroo. Big shot, getting down.
Let's go. Continue on to SWL10. Chrissy, I see you guys, 10 and 30 checking in. And there is a thing. We'll address it here a little bit later when the band gets quiet so the people locally can hear it. But and I'll check with Harvey. But you have an item of interest that will be something that we can all enjoy, I think. We'll be getting back to that. So 10 and 30 checking in. Let's go to 11 and 12. Of course, that's Dan and Dapper Dan. I probably don't look or feel dapper today. I've been running around. We had a 6-hour concert live at the radio station and just got back from that. And now we'll have our at least 2-hour concert of tube radios and shortwave listeners. Let's go to SWL 13. I do believe, let's see, does this work for my little thing? No, it does. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay. SWL 13. I'm looking for Mikey. That's from last week, so I'll hang on with that. It is noisy out there. SWL 14. That's out in Sangerland. Sean, we'll get you if you're listening on the stream. We'll pick you up when things get a little bit less wacky. Always there on a Saturday evening for us, Sunday morning for him, very early. Alpha 173 out of Copenhagen, Denmark. I saw you earlier on, Han. So I've got the X's. There you are, right there. Got you checked in.
I'll see you. Bye-bye.
SWL 16, that would be Charlie, who they said they had. Did you guys have a replacement for me in case I didn't show up? Oh, it was the inflatable. They had the inflatable net controller. I don't know if we want to talk about that. No, the real one is here, so you can put the inflatable one back in the box. Thanks for looking out for me. SWL 17.
53, trying to check in there if you can hear me out there, Dennis. Break.
Yeah, 53 the legend. We've got you through the skip. We've got you checked in. Over.
Hey, thank you there. Thank you, man. It's rough and tough out there. Hey, have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you think it was the top of cycle 25 or something. SWL 17.
Out of the grass.
SWL 18. We've got Mikey checked in from... Where is he? From Facebook. Making sure I've got everybody in that's supposed to be in. Let's go to SWL 19. The cue cards are looking nice. I see you put in the budget to get a new one of those Sharpie magic markers. That looks very good. Thank you.
You're in there with him.
Thank you, Chet, for hanging in with us tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network, we will be checking in with the glow-in-the-dark radios coming up after the roll call.
Hey, look at that. I will talk on back.
And SWL 20 is out there. You probably can't hear me through the noise, but Harvey, if you're listening, I've got you checked in. Over.
96, the little boy's getting down. The little boy's getting down.
Golden Beagle, so you can hear me, I hope. check me in. Check in 29 and 54. And I'll have an item of interest tonight. Also, Chrissy up there in Idaho is going to be selling D104 microphone dust covers. I'll go over that a little later when the skip dies down. But I've got one, and it's very nice. Okay. And very reasonable, price-wise. Okay, Dennis, hopefully you can hear me.
I can hear you just fine. It sounds like a good thing. We'll talk about it when the band gets a little bit quieter so we can all hear it here locally. But sounds like something perfect for the Radio Shack. Thanks, Harvey, for checking in, and we'll be back with you in just a bit. And the Golden Beagle beaconing through the airwaves just fine. I have not had a chance, and I'll do it right now, to see if the live stream is still up and running. I think they're late night. They're live in 21SC. I'm trying to see if there is anything recent. He's in Waterloo, South Carolina at the Low Country Mud Duck Break. And it looks like they are probably not on. Let me see if there is a video for that.
Take you a Daddy Yardstick, take you a 296. Whisper in your radio, ba-ba-ba.
All right, says they're all upcoming, so I won't play it because I haven't previewed it. But I did see some of the live testing videos, and as usual, it looked like a very well-attended large event with items of interest. And so I do have 21. JT did come by a little bit earlier. I got him checked in, and maybe we'll check into the video a bit later to see what we can get. Let's go up to Alaska, SWL 22.
Hello, right back, water bug. I got no location, but I got a lot of...
SWL 23.
I'm gonna kick back, water bug.
If Skidoo can make it through this noise, he's doing good. Turn up the amplifiers on Espresso Trucking Company, perhaps. SWL 24 checked in early. SWL 25 from way out there.
Hey, Daddy Yardstick, the boy with the sound, clear and gone.
SWL 25.
Water bug in there and gone, water bug gone.
All right, probably not going to happen. We will get, if you need to check in during any time we're on tonight, no problem. We will be able to get you in. Right now, it's a little bit rough. And I was going to ask a question as to what would be, in your recollection, the worst radio that you ever had, or the worst radio that you never had. And we're trying to find out tonight, is there, we know what the good radios are. What would be the bad radio? And I don't think it necessarily has to be a tube radio or not. So we'll see if we can get those questions coming in when it gets a little bit quieter in the shack. If you're watching the of the video, chime in with in your experience, or maybe a radio that you had. What was the worst CB radio that you had that you would give 0 stars and not recommend to anybody? Let's go over to SWL 27.
Hello, Chris.
And the crossband is up tonight, it looks like. Echo Link is in. We've got a couple of stations ready to check in, so no problem.
296, little boy, big audio, big out.
And Chrissy says, yeah, the worst radio, the bad radio, the worst radio is the one that doesn't work. That's the one you sit in front of it and turn on, and nothing happens. I have a lot of those over here. Let's go to SWL 28. And that's Gary. Gary's going to make me hungry. I ran into the shack here. I had a lot of strawberries at the live concert we were doing, but not much to eat. So he's going to let me know what's in store for me here when I get out of the air chair. Ice cold lemonade. He's been working on the air conditioning in the green room most of the day. Yeah, it's 55 outside. I just opened the windows, and maybe that's why it's so cold. You got the air conditioning finally running on the day that it's the coldest that it's been in 2 months. And it does blow ice cold. All right, well, the lemonade is fine, but I think I'm more in the mood for hot chocolate right now. Gary, thanks for all that you do to keep things up and running around the green room here at the Old Tube Radio Network. And save me a Ritz cracker. We've got a SWL29 proxy check-in for the loaner. SWL30, Dwayne is out there as well, no doubt in front of his D104 microphonium. He has taken the great cover off and is ready to speak into it. We were to have skip conditions to the Central Valley.
Wipe it good.
SWL 31, Robert Teresa were in earlier. I saw them on my list. This mouse is working. Let me scroll up and just take a moment to see who is out there. Hello to Jay-Z. We'll be coming to you. No problem. We'll get you checked in. Mark Sandquist is out there listening in. Wicked Super Tech. Hello, radio to you. Colo Radio is back with us tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. In the radio lounge tonight, they are waving. They are shining the little flashlights out there. Private Thor and the gang from Squamish. Hello to you. SWL 69. Kenny, let me get you now as I see you on the list from Tulsa, Oklahoma, don't you know? And from Texas tonight, Jerry is checking in out there in Five Land. Thanks for joining us. One tube. If there's what's better than no tubes, one tube. Thanks for saying hello, radio. I hear the skip is starting to die out. We got another 5 minutes. New Jersey is checking in. Art D, Alta Delta Charlie, and says his group has sparked his interest in vintage tube radios. Well, good. And there are still some out there. And, pricing them. Yes, that's the problem. eBay sometimes is a little pricey. Maybe you will find one locally. Maybe you will find one that works for you. Sometimes they look good just sitting there when they don't work. Who said that the worst radio you have is the one that doesn't work? But hopefully you will get something that glows in the dark.
Oh, Roger, we still here, Yankton.
Foxman 362, working skip all week. Check out the videos, and probably today as well, joining us live here from Knoxville to the West Coast. Thanks for joining us. Rusty Rails is coming in. He's live from the top of beautiful Petite Jean Mountain tonight. And he's with Sunbird. XYL, and they are enjoying a little vacation, a little well-deserved vacation, no doubt. And they're still going to tune in OTR in between the champagne and the M&Ms. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Come later. I think only get one jiu-jitsu tournament. Roger that, bro. Roger that.
UDX 133 from the Central Coast. What was the weather like there today? It was rainy and cold and cloudy here today, but the last of those days, it's probably going to be 80 degrees in just a couple of days, but hope you had a good day out there. Oh, SC21 internet issues, that's it. He's in, that's probably why he's not transmitting from the low country mud duck break in Waterboro, South Carolina, because all his videos said they were going to happen. So hopefully if he gets the stream up and is staying up late, we will say hello, radio. SWL 64, Craig, I will get you in now since I see you. The band is opening up, so I may try a couple of stations that I missed earlier. Let's get 147. Let's get Neil in right now since he is out there in Kakalaki area. Thanks for joining us. AJ in Zero Land out there in St. Louis, Missouri. Who did I talk to a couple nights on 40 meters banging in out of, no, it's in Kansas, but almost there. So thanks for joining us, AJ. Maybe catch you on out there in Zero Land. Bootlegger UDX 252 saying hello, radio. And now that's a little bit quiet, let me call stations I couldn't hear. How about SWL 14?
Yeah, I can hear you now. SWL-14 checking in.
Yeah, you are sounding loud, not only here in Central California, but probably many other places as well. And the X is in the square in Sanger. And I wasn't sure if Dirt Dog was at the microphonium tonight or not. That would be the ever-popular 982.
Negative. Dirt Dog is not here this evening. So thanks for checking me in there, Dennis, and maybe I can make it in for the tube show.
All right, I think we will have good conditions. The gray line is starting to fade out here. We'll see what happens a little bit later. But boy, that radio is sounding good. So I want to find out what it is and get it logged in. The Old Tube Radio Network, directed net roll call. We are streaming at oldtuberadio.net if you'd like to join us there to listen in. And there is also a link to check out the video when we start showing radios as well. You won't see me, but you'll see some good radios.
West Pacific.
Okay, here's one. Craco. CB radio was bad. Craco Braco. I like that. Maybe they don't. So, all right, there's one vote for Craco. He said he missed the radio. Great reception, great modulation, and enjoying the program as we were going to get some check-ins here. Let's get back to the Tube Radio list. I did check in Robert and Teresa at SWL 31. Let's ask for SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, and anyone hanging out in the green room. We'll put a big X in the square for them. Also checking in Jimmy out there near Chicago in Batavia, Railroader, Captain Chaos, and whoever might be sitting in the air chair. And there is 23 Skidoo. I think what he had to do was have Espresso Trucking Company kind of get shoulder to shoulder and then climb up like one of those circus acts where he's on the top with the 23 channel 5-watt Radio Shack walkie-talkie, and I can hear you now. And yes, this is insanity. There's the check-in for 23. That takes us back to SWL 35, and you know Mr. Bill is joining us from Cheyenne, Wyoming tonight. I do believe. Let me go back and see if he was on my list. I could have sworn I saw an SWL 35 in there, but I'm going to get Mr. Bill checked in anyway because he often listens. SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37. SWL 37. Got a proxy. I'll get proxy in for Chris. Sure, we got some copyright violations waiting to happen here. SWL 38. Well, Sam, if Hippopotamus or the Skipland is still in there, you might be able to get a relay here into Central California. Otherwise, we've got the big station out of Byron checked in.
They're not loud like you, so I'll have to try it.
SWL 39.
Yeah, bro, the air is loud.
SWL 40.
SWL 40, checking in, and I was tuning up my radio on channel 14.
Art Bill.
Hawaii sounded pretty good, so I guess it's working. SWL 40 out.
Okay, I was about to say that you were listening to Art Bell, the replay that happens on Channel 14, but Hawaii was in there. All right, and they're probably not kidding. You sound good here, too. Thanks for checking in. Until 2400 hours. I'm not sure when your 24 hours happens, Frank D. number 1, but the Yellow Springs station is looking good here at the Old Tube Radio Network. We will get you checked in, and thank you, Larry, for checking in as well. Let's go to SWL 41 out there in New York. Road Dog 507, of course, representing the Orange County React, Hudson Valley, and all the fine stations out that way. Thanks for joining us tonight. The X is in the square.
We'll catch you back later. Hello to you there, Uncle Papa Charlie, 175. Aloha.
SWL 42. Shortwave listener 43. SWL 44. Someone said to get a proxy check-in for Mr. 360 Ray, and I will do that. He's kind of around the corner. And so when Skip is out there loud, he definitely can't hear me. But Ray, we've got you checked in. And I was working late last night again at another concert we were doing, so I didn't get to check into the Ditch Bank sideband yet. We'll have to see what happened on that coming up. Paul and Kelly up in North Fork. I hope you're staying warm. It was chilly here. I bet it was probably rainy and wet up that way. I hope you're listening in, and hope to hear you guys back on the air soon. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, SWL 46. And LaGrange, North Carolina is waving a hand saying, hello, radio. Thanks, Mike. Hopefully we'll have some of your favorite radios checking in. And you start glowing in the dark. Let's go to SWL 47. Hey, now I can turn my RF gain back up. SWL 48. SWL 48, they say you proxy for Mr. KP. I guess if we were sideband, I bet I'd hear him okay. Let's go to SWL 49. That would be Spitty and Sweet Country Mama, of course. Over to SWL 50. SWL 51 out in Sangertown.
SWL.
Where's the big mouth? Where's the big mouth?
All right, you made it through the noise. Sounding good. Sounding good tonight, Dave. We got you checked in.
No more the big mouth. Water bug on. Bye, bye, bye.
All right, 51 is in. How about SWL 52? From the Golden Microphonium somewhere. SWL 53, The Legend, checked in moments ago. SWL 54 is got a proxy check-in, and we're on page 2 for SWL 55. Make that page 3. We're doing better than I thought. SWL 55. We're getting the Skip land back. SWL 56 checked in just for kicks. We've got you, Phil. Thanks for that. SWL 57, Brown Dog Audio. SWL 58. And SWL 59 checking in right there. You must have a good internet connection, because as soon as I say 59, those check marks are in the square. Thank you there, Uncle Hairball, and I've got an X in the proper spot. Making sure I put all the X's where they go. It's at the end of the page this time, so I gotta make sure I'm on the right thing.
Hello there, 296. You showing?
Over to SWL 60.
Bye.
Thanks, Dennis. Yeah, you can get a check-in for me and also for Phil. I think he wanted me to proxy him in. SWL 60, check.
All right, I got you checked in, Joe, no problem, and I will get 79, Mr. DC. I will get Philip checked in as well. Usually I hear him before the net, but I was not in the air chair until moments before the net, so thanks for the 10-5.
Thank you, Dennis.
Where are we at? 60's in, SWL 61. That's Dino. He checked in at the top of the net here, making it through the skip. Let's go to SWL 62. Shortwave listener 63.
Oh, we'll figure to jump up, let you know it's sounding good out here on the Big Island. 422, you take care. Have a wonderful evening.
SWL 64, Craig out there in Wisconsin, in Nineland, checked in earlier. We've got him. Now I got to do some. Let me put up the big video here, because Skidoo says, and he could be right, and he's sort of our safety coordinator here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me just turn on the camera. And I've got the AKG shotgun microphone, and the reason I have it closer than normal is I'm trying to run Vox and keep the microphone level low to do the check-in. But he's saying adjust it. Now, that'd be too high. So take the mic shadow down and get close enough and try not to lean forward so I have injury. So I get we'd have shish kebab net control. And then I'll push it back when I don't need to be in Vox anymore. But, you know, 23 is always looking out for us. He's the guy that puts that yellow and black tape on the stairs up to the balcony. And he's also the one that says, be careful when you're drinking the hot coffee that you don't spill it in your lap. Or that's one of those McDonald's things. So you can thank, or is it blame? 23's could do for the safety things that we do here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go over to SWL 65. SWL 66.
Out here around the southernmost part of the Hawaiian Island, you're 388.
SWL 67. Let me see if Bill is in from Canby, Oregon. I think I found what the problem is. I've got a bad remote mouse. I've got a remote mouse not working. And, oh yeah, Bill's there about an hour ago. I see Bill out there in Canby. The X is in the square. Also, who else did I miss? There's Martin checking in. Martin B checking in. Happy listening. Happy interesting listening, everyone. Thanks Marty, for that. Let's go back to the list. SWL 67 is in. SWL 68. SWL 69, Kenny, out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was in earlier. We did get you in, Kenny, if you're watching the replay or watching live. This might be a bit of a stretch. We're going to go up the hill to SWL 70, see if we can make it through the noise. SWL 70. SWL 71 can always make it through the noise. That, of course, is Stan, who is checking in out of Dallas, Georgia. Is there a break? Go ahead. Probably not for us, maybe for Skipland. Let me get to 71 officially checked in and go back to the page where you could actually see that. There's too much of me. There we go. Checked in is 71. Let's go to SWL 72.
Hello, 343,
and 356 BYU, hello to you. And we are coming up. You are coming up here like in seconds, so don't go away. SWL 73. I got a proxy in for Mr. Music Instructor, which we will do that. And likewise for SWL 74, Ms. Jilly. And then it is his cue. It's cue the 356. 356 BYU. X in the square for SWL 75. Thanks for joining us tonight. Over to SWL 76. Red Fox 1. Somewhere in beautiful Johnson, Rhode Island. Scottsdale is waving two hands tonight out of Scottsdale. Yeah, UDX 3030. Thanks for joining us. Let's go to SWL 77.
Well, I tell you what, then, Joe.
I got a note to proxy in Dennis, which I will do. SWL 78, all the way in Wild Wildemar.
What tour I got down?
And another station that's out, and you know he would be there, out at the Waterloo, South Carolina CB break is, where's my prop? This guy right here, 007 extremecb.com. I don't know what
43.
Charlie's saying. You're holding it up in front of your face. All right, now I'll put it down here. I'm not sure what channel you guys monitor, or if you do monitor out there, but maybe we will look for you tomorrow afternoon. I'm not sure what frequency you'd hang out on, but Frank, you're looking good, and I hope all is well. JT was having trouble. This guy on Old Radio Night was having trouble with his internet connection, so I wasn't able to jump in live and see what was going on, but I saw the replay from setting things up, and it looked like it was good stuff out there. in Waterloo, South Carolina, at the big CB break going on. So thanks for checking in. SWL 79, Philip has got a proxy check-in. Thanks for that. Over to SWL 80.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Can I get a late check-in for 55, please?
55. I'm still on the page. I haven't turned it yet. I put the X in. Thanks for jumping in. All right, 55 is in. Thank you, Mr. Eminem.
Hammer, 296, I gotta let you know.
And that takes us to 79. It's in. SWL 80 we called. SWL 76, I see you. I think I popped you in. Let me do it again, just because it can. There it is, right up there. Let's go to SWL 81. Is it quieting down? SWL 82.
Yeah, I'll let the guy with the D-Raj, here, 296, number 7. I'll be paying attention. If you need me, I'll be on standby at 296, a little.
Did I hear 82 in there, over?
82, check it in. I can't. Troublemaker, 82, check it in from the Dish Banks of Biola.
Yeah, you're sounding good. I got you.
All right, Roger, okay, man. 296. Hi, Dennis, thank you. Thank you for checking in 82.
All right, I was working late, missed the net last night. We'll find out more about it. Thank you for checking in through the noise. JC is in. SWL 83. Sylvania, Ohio would be the location where you can find the best sounding, not only AM, but sideband station in the town, SWL 83. Thanks, JC, for checking in.
See you.
And I'm going to get not one, not two, not three, but four of my favorite radio stations here, SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88. And that's, of course, Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. I got to find the 30-year plaque that they gave to the old Tube Radio Network, and the on-the-air sign is, you can see it. It's just there's too much light in the room. It's right at the top of the picture. Our own very own old Tube Radio on-the-air placard, thanks to all those stations. Let's go to SWL 89, SWL 90. And the guy who is 00, 8th week is 00. He might be 00 again. You just never know. SWL 91 on the 2-for-1. Thanks, Felix. Did a good job. It looks like you will be in the running again because you have perfect attendance yet again. Hope all is going well out that way. In the land of the palm trees and the cactus and the googie architecture, and he's checking in from the salt mine. So keep the volume down. Maybe you're on a lunch break or something, but that of course is our Palm Springs aficionado UDX 4570, and he may have at one time, I'm looking for used his we call him a greenie, his little greenie screwdriver to adjust the stereo system for Frank Sinatra, one of those reel-to-reel tape decks, or one of the many television screens that he had. He probably was in there making sure that old Blue Eyes was getting everything he needed. Now, I just wonder what kind of CB radio Frankie had back in the day. Probably a Johnson Viking 1. Or would he? No, he would have had the top of the line Browning probably in that rack of stuff. Thanks for joining us. 4570. Let's go over to SWL 92.
Hey, where you cruising there, D-Raj, man? Smoking out here, better keep. We don't get you
SWL 93.
Hey, good evening, Dennis and everybody. 93 STD.
Hey, Louis, sounding good. You've got some audio going on and beaconing right here into the network with no problem. Over.
Yes, sir. I'd like to get with you when you have some time. changed over to a studio mic and got some EQ going on. So, but when you have a chance, I'd like to talk to you about some things.
All right, no problem. Do some studio miking, some compression limiting, equalizing, stuff like that. But you got some loud audio going on, so you are heading down the rabbit hole in the right direction. Over.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a good evening. I'll be standing by.
All right, do love the not only the ESSB, the extended sideband, extended single sideband, but the Voodoo AM audio as well. Some enhanced audio, because that's where you've got 6 kilohertz already. So you can do some great stuff with your audio on the AM side. 93 is in. We called 92. I was looking to see if I could see Mr. Roman in there, and I do not. Let's go over to SWL 95. Probably got a little bit of delay for Mr. Warthog. I'll keep my eye out. From Boston, SWL 97. Hello, Jim, if you're listening. And the Echo link is up, and I'll catch Kurt 96 live and direct on the Echo link. SWL 98. I want to say hello to Tracy and remind everybody that on your Facebook, if you don't have it... I'm seeing maybe we get a crossband here. All right, so it broke the squelch, but not enough. If you don't have it logged into your Facebook page yet, check out Central Valley Sea Beers. Tracy and some of the gang are there. Let them know, of course, on the page when you're talking to Central California from far-off lands, or when you might be on, or post pictures of your radio stations and the like. Listening to the crossband, but I'm not getting any call on that, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, Tracy, if you're listening, 98, you are checked in. Let's go to Radio Randy, SWL 99. He made it in last week. Probably got some good conditions on 75, so he will probably... He will probably be in moments. Let me go over to the Echo link and see if I can get that up and running. All right, I'm trying the Echo link here, and I think it's up and running now. Let's see if we can get Tony on the line, and he will tell us about the activation for tubes on the air. If I unkey my microphone. Okay, now that'll work.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, thanks, Tony. Thanks for being patient with the guy trying to figure out how to turn his Echo Link microphone off and his over-the-air microphone on. Tony checking in from McClellanville, South Carolina. He is our TOTA aficionado. He will be activating the tubes on the air when we start Glow in the Dark, and that'll be coming up in just a moment. Thanks for joining us.
301. Come back on the side. This is Andrew, 003 Melbourne, standing by. Bye.
We're going to check in with SWL 96, Kurt from Kokomo.
KV6GFD in the net. This is Whiskey 9 Kilowatt Echo Charlie. Good evening, Dennis. SWL 96 checking in. I'd like to brag just a little bit about my setup. This is my first HF radio I've ever owned. My Tentec Corsair 2. I have an Antron 99 up about 15 feet in the air. And in the last 2 weeks, I have worked 20 countries. So, in like 3 or 4 of them today, I was doing some West Coast talking. And, of course, the Florida QSO party is happening. So that really tore up 20. And then the rest of the bands are kind of noisy. So that's what I had to work with. Anyways, I'll turn it back over to Net Control. Thanks for listening. And, as always, thanks for taking the net. We'll see you next week. KB6 GFD in the net. This is Whiskey 9 Kilowatt Echo Charlie 73.
Sounding good. You can't, even though it gets, some dist reviews, you can't go wrong with the Starduster or an Antron 99 or some of the simple antennas if you've got it mounted at a decent height and you've got a good radio, and of course the conditions are up, which they have been. The 10 Tech Corsair, a fine radio. Glad you're having fun with it, and I look forward to maybe catching you on 10 meters or wherever the Antron 99 might work. So keep up the good work and be an inspiration to those of us who may be thinking about or trying to get an upgrade to our ham radio tickets. There's a lot of activity. If 11 is too busy, right? If you can't get through the 40,000 stations simultaneously and at the same time transmitting, you can always jump up on some of the other bands. And it, like you just heard from Kurt, it is a lot easier to actually make contact. 73, and thanks for joining us, KB6.
Roger, 73.
All right, I got one more Echo Link to do, so let me get that linked up. One more Echo Link, and I wanted to check in with Albert. Hello, Albert, KI6. And Albert will be checking in.
There, now the
you got it.
Meter's moving. I hope you can hear me, Dennis. It's good to be with the show here today. Let's see. I had a question for you. I was trying to listen to Ditchbank's network today, but or last Friday, but I didn't see any internet. There's no YouTube. Is that only over the air and not on YouTube now?
All right, that is a good question. Sometimes the Ditchbank's sideband net will be over the air between either one or two stations that can do that. So it's not an every week thing. It does happen on channel 37. 36, I've forgotten already. 27365. It happens on channel 36 lower, so you can always have the radio listening in, although from where you are and where we are, it's iffy if we would have any conditions. So if you've got whatever URL previously, or you go, I think you can actually go online and Google the Ditchbank sideband and see what YouTube channel or what YouTube person has it, and then just check in Friday early to see if they've got a stream up or not. But it's not a guaranteed thing to be over the or to be streamed. Over.
Glad you got a little bit of Mother Nature in that in. You have been quiet for a while, just making up time, little boy.
Yeah, that's a good explanation. Anyway, but I look forward to that. I listened to some of the older programs, and the audio quality is really high for single sideband. I've never worked that at all. So, but like I say, the audio is very clear. I don't quite get that. It seems like sideband is kind of less power than AM. How does that happen?
Well, we have stations streaming that do good audio. Sometimes you can just hold a speaker up to the microphone kind of thing, but if you do it live and through the pipes, it will sound good. So hopefully you can get in on the Echo Link listening, and you can always leave a message, and someone will see it and say hello radio. Thanks for joining us. Back to the roll call net on our Echo Link here. So back to you, and we're going back to the roll call, but thanks for joining us. 73 from... It sounds like the skip might be...
And good night, and we'll listen to the radios as they come on the air. Okay, see you. Good night.
All right, very good. Sounds like the skip is dying out, so we will have a good time with the radios. We are back right here, 27085, Channel 11. Your old tube radio network, looking for SWL 102. What say ye, John, out there in Arkansas tonight? Oh, he's right there. He's scrolled on my screen already. Checking in, just home from work, got the Charlie Alpha Tangos fed. A little bit of dry food, a little bit of wet food, a couple of treats in the hand. You're ready to go Notice, I know exactly. Notice which order his priorities are. Same thing here. It always seems like, in fact, I'm still hungry, but the black cat got fed tonight. So that's how it works, and there's no explaining it. Thank you, John. Always looking good here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to SWL 103. Joey, I think I saw you testing, about an hour ago. You are checked in. SWL 103 over at oldtuberadio.net.
Hey, Dennis, check the hippopotamus. Hey, Dennis, in California, checking the hippopotamus. Well, Big Mouth in Australia. In Australia, are you on the Big Island? Got a copy out there?
Yeah, hippopotamus. Hello, hippopotamus, on the Old Tube Radio Network. oldtuberadio.net on the internet. oldtuberadio.net, the live stream, and the hippopotamus who's helped us out before with 10-5s checking into the net. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Dennis, am checking the hippopotamus around Australia, Dennis? Hey, Dennis, got a check my swing man. Hey, Dennis.
All right, who knew we would make it to Australia just barely? Hippopotamus, you are checked in. We are live streaming at oldtuberadio.net for the video gate, I guess they called it. But anyway, we are here and you're sounding good. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Hippopotamus, over. 102 is in. Thank you, John. Joey is in out there in South Carolina. Up in the high country, SWL 109 through the skip. And a proxy check-in for Mr. Crawdad tonight. SWL 110. Boy, that was an end of the gray line skip condition right there. SWL 111, Robert checked in early because he was in the middle of skip land and we couldn't hear Reedley. Let's go to SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, charging out.
Wayne, you're always sounding good. I'm going to put you on the spot. If you have an answer, fine. If not, no problem. In your history of having radios, although I think you're on the Cobra 2000, which you probably had forever. Do you have like a worst radio, a radio you had that you would never, a CB radio you had that you would never have again? Over. He's thinking.
I can't picture exactly just one there, Dennis. Maybe a couple of them I didn't really care too much for, but I can't pick just one.
All right, now that's a good answer. When you have a radio like he's got that sounds great on AM and sideband, and it stays in the radio shelf all nice and purdy for a long, long time, it's hard to think about all the other ones that didn't make it on the shelf for that long. All right, thanks for the answer, Wayne, and you're checked in.
All right, Dennis, thank you for the check-in.
Let's go over to SWL 128. John is checking in tonight a couple of minutes ago. I'm not sure what's going on in Fairfax, Virginia, where it is later than you might think. It is, what time is it here? It's almost 9 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, which means the tube radios can't be far behind. Thanks for checking in, John. SWL 131. Shortwave listener 133. And SWL 135.
Hello there. This is SWL 135 checking in.
135 checking in, sounding good doing it. I have a feeling that you are glowing in the dark, and we will find out more about that radio in moments, but we've got you checked in now, sounding good.
Sounds good, Cliff.
And who we got? From the land of smooth voodoo audio. We've had a couple of stations check in tonight that are doing the ESSB, the enhanced AM audio thing, and sounding good. Mark 4799. If you ever get a chance to jump on 40 meters with your scope, look for one of those nice wide 6K audio waterfalls, and it just might be that guy there on one of the few voodoo modified radios on the West Coast. and probably one of the few, if not the only one, that has pretty much the full rack of the modified voodoo audio to go with it, as we used to say on 20 meters, to make that mellifluous sound. Anyway, thanks for checking in, and maybe catch you guys on tomorrow or whenever. It has been a crazy, busy weekend doing stuff with microphones and cables, and now we're having fun doing it right here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, Mark, for checking in. Let's go to SWL 137. Over to SWL 145. And that is Tony. You know what? I believe Tony probably, and I will take a moment here to see if Tony left some questions from the Friday morning net, which he did. And Tony, I will get you checked in, so we'll quickly go over those. And I have not looked at these yet, so I'm not cheating. That means I will not know the answer in advance. Speaking of AM, which of the following Johnson transmitters was rated at 75 watts? So we're obviously not talking about the Class D, but EF Johnson, of course, we might hear a few of them checking in tonight. So anybody has got their EF Johnson handbook ready, so we might know the answer. At which of the following EF Johnson transmitters was rated at 75 watts CW, that's Morse code, CW input, and 65 watts AM input? That's the input. And the answers are the Adventurer, the Viking 1, the Ranger, or the Valiant. Well, I thought the Adventurer was their novice rig. The Viking 1, Ranger, and Valiant, I thought were all kind of heavy-duty, very broadcast sounding rigs. Now, my answer would be A, the Adventurer. But the Viking 1, Ranger, and Valiant are still on the list. And the answer is, I was wrong. The Ranger. Okay, so the Viking Ranger, and they made a Ranger 2. And if you look up, search for a Viking Ranger, you might see an 11-meter position on the band switch. So might be somebody out there trying to check in on one of those. So the Viking Ranger was rated at 75 watts CW, 65 watts AM. Question number 2. The heliograph was one of the earliest forms of communications that used what? That's an HELIOGRAPH. The heliograph, and there's not a multiple choice here. could be anything. The heliograph was one of the earliest forms of communication that used what? And I'll give you the answer because I have no idea. I mean, it used a tuna sandwich. It used a mirror. Okay, well, it could have been. It used a mirror and sunlight to flash coded messages over great distances. And in 1886, General Miles established a network of 23, well, this is interesting, of 23 heliograph stations across Arizona, New Mexico to aid in his pursuit of Geronimo and all those are bands of raiders that would hang out, I guess. So it was think of it was like an early repeater system, except instead of using light waves that use VHF, UHF frequency, it was using light waves that use whatever spectrum sunlight is in with the mirrors and the flash-coded messages. That has got to be a very crazy thing to do, to get those messages to flash in the mirrors and then to another mirror and back, and then who's ever on the other end to not be blinded by, what is that? So my hat is off to all the heliographers who knew how to decipher the message, or maybe they didn't. How did things go with Geronimo? Maybe it's because, if we had two-way radio, if we could get on our CB radios, all these bad things wouldn't happen. But that's all they had was the heliograph. Back to the net control, directed net roll call. Let's go to SWL 147. Neil has been checked in earlier, I should say. Let's go to Bobby, SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. 188 checking in.
188, you are sounding good. The skip land is still there, I suppose, if you point the right way, but it's starting to die down. Thanks for checking in.
10-4, evening time.
188 is in. Let me go up the hill. It is quiet enough that if he is in the air chair tonight, he might even hear me. SWL 195.
195 checking in, Dennis.
All right, sounding good, Jim, up there in Coarse Gold. Looking good on the meter here in the neighborhood. Thanks for checking in.
I think you said 145 is checking in.
Okay, 195 we have, and then, who is the other station checking in? OTR is listening? Okay, up there, of course, that's Tony. Hey, Tony, I hear you. You're a little weak. Normally you're stronger, but 145, Tony and Coarse Gold. Again, thanks for the questions. We always enjoy it. Over. All right, and thank you, Jim. Thanks for the relay from Coarse Gold to down here in the Mud Ducks in Midtown Fresno. 195, 145. Thanks. Let's go to Mr. Shockwave, SWL 226. I'll jump over to the Central Valley CBers page and let Jeff know that he has been checked in, and anybody else that needs to check in before we jump into the tube radios. OTR listening. Nothing heard. And the 23 Skidoo Network, that's what, see, I always wondered what Espresso Trucking Company did on their off time. They are out with the Windex polishing those mirrors on the 23 Skidoo Network. Looking good. Back in a moment with your tube radios, because this is indeed the old tube radio network. Don't go away. And it sounds like Skip has gone away. We did get to talk to Mr. Hippopotamus, one of the hippopotami out there, and we hope to get to talk to you on your tube radio. Back in a moment. The break, go ahead. All right, I barely hear you. I'm in Midtown Fresno, but I hear you on the Lafayette. Take a transmission over.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I've been starting radio for a long time, so I just want to make sure it was still working. Thank you, okay?
Yeah, it's still working. Do you know what the model number of the Lafayette is? Does it have a model number on the front?
I can see it because it looks like it's been erased.
Oh, my gosh. Is it one of the older tube sets?
You're blowing my ears off. No, you're fine. I was just giving you a hard time. Sounded good, though. You're right across the street.
Can you tell if that's a tube radio or not?
No, it's not a tube radio. It's, I think it's a transistor.
Okay, no problem. It sounds good. We're the Old Tube Radio Network. We're streaming live right now at oldtuberadio.net. And we will be talking about some of the radios from 1958 to 1978. Some of them, maybe we'll get a Lafayette checking in tonight, one of the early radios. So stay tuned, tune in if you can. If not, we'll look for you next week. I'm going to jump out of the air chair for a second and get the tube radios set up. I'll be right back.
37, Dennis.
And 37, we're changing that proxy, which was the big golden P, believe that, and into the big golden X. Over.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, I just jumped in here real quick. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Chris. We appreciate it. You checked in.
All right, you take care.
And now I'm jumping out of the air chair.
Hey, Dennis, check me in, man. Dennis, check me in. Big Mouth, back with him.
Hey, Big Mouth, you are checked in. OldTubeRadio.net. Big Mouth sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
There, Dennis. You take it easy, man. Before I just check in and take you back to your door on the Old Tube Radio Network. Your worldwide hippopotamus working his old brand and back on the side now. Bye-bye.
All right, there, hippopotamus sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network. We're going to get started with the Tube Radios. Join us, won't you, at oldtuberadio.net, the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, and this is the time where I get to sit back and relax and enjoy the network, enjoy the show, as somebody said. I guess if there's a show that we actually do, this is it, and it's because of you showing off your radios, and that is why we are here every week, most weeks on a Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific daylight time at this point to show off and showcase your tube radios. The Old Tube Radio Network is listening for any and all check-ins.
20-25-135.
All right, there was 2 stations heard, and I know there will be many more. I will pick them in the order of appearance. So, Cliff, 135, I will ask you to jump into the green room, but briefly. Keep your eye on the little red light that flags that says you're next. You will be radio number 2. And stepping up into the air chair is Harvey, SWL20. Take a transmission, Harvey.
Okay, I didn't ping. I wanted to keep it quick. I'm not checking in my radio yet. I'll try and keep this quick. But I wanted to be heard, so I'm using this one. Chrissy up in Idaho selling D104 dust covers. She makes them to order. She has several patterns. Get a hold of her. They're $10 a piece with a basic pattern. You just talk to her about it. If you want something embroidered on it, your name, a radio, or whatever, D104, $5 more, $15. This is all plus shipping. It's Chrissy up there in Idaho. You can get a hold of her. Probably Dennis can get your number, or me. So I've got one. I've got it on a Silver Eagle mic, and the dust cover looks great. It's just fine. Fits fine. Anyway, that's it. And turn it back to you, Dennis and Cliff. Bye.
All right. Thanks for the information. Good information. We'll be talking about that in the weeks to come. And maybe everyone listening at some point will have a safe place for a safe harbor, as it were, for their D104 microphonium. Thanks to Chrissy. A personalized microphonium cover. All right, good deal. And thank you, Chrissy, who I still have one of her recipes with the tater tots and the ham. I don't know, it was a tater tot recipe, which I like a lot. So Chrissy's always been very good to us here at the Old Tube Radio Network, and we appreciate it. All right, so he said he's checking in, but not checking in, so I'm going to reconnoiter, and let's go to the new radio at number 1 on the list, and that would be SWL 135. Hello, Cliff.
Okay, I'm a teeny bit low in frequency, so yeah, I hope are you picking me up okay?
I am listening 15K wide on the Voodoo radio. You can go to channel 10, and I kid you not, I probably still hear you, so go ahead.
Okay, I'm just a bit low. I'm at 0845, so we're well within your bandwidth, I think. Excuse me. Sorry, it's a little chilly and damp out here in the CB Cabana.
It was chilly and damp
I am
all day.
checking in from where is it? From Mission Hill, California. This is the Courier 23 by ECI. The Courier 23 by ECI. Let's see, I call it the chrome and copper radio. It's got an all chrome cabinet, but it has a copper chassis. which is always neat looking. And let's see, there are 10 tubes, but all 23 channels crystal controlled, transmit and receive. So no waiting. Back to you.
Back to me in the studio. I've got a great picture of the Courier 23 by ECI, which I believe is from your shack. I know because it's on channel 11. The lighting is perfect. The S-meter is aglow. I don't think you are BW6767, whether the Dymo label is on there, but that adds an extra touch. Great audio. There is a slight, the AC note, but it is very down. If you've listened to the stream, you will probably hear it, but I don't think it is affecting anything on your end. I bet the modulation light is winking and blinking. Make it do so yet again. Back to you.
Okay, I wonder if I have it plugged in backwards, or if finally the capacitors are going out again. I don't know. Yeah, and I am using that original mic. It's the original ECI mic. Says ECI on it, but it's made by a static. Give me just a second. Yeah, it's an Astatic 525 hand microphone, but I say it says that on the back and ECI on the front. It is the original mic that came with the original radio. I can't think of what else to say about it. Back to you.
Well, we see if we can't get some information. I'm going to put, for those who are watching the video, at oldtuberadio.net link, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is you do to get. I don't know what it is you get to do to the video. If you go to the .net page, there's a link up there. There is the radio close up. Got a band spread. So you must have a delta tune on that. And it is 23 channels. And there is a switch underneath the meter. And we're tilting up. And there's the microphone. It doesn't look, I thought maybe it was big like, the sonars, the original big sonar later microphones like on the FS series. Looks like it's a bit smaller than that, but it has a lot of audio. It sounds good. Over.
Yeah, it's not quite as big as those, but it is a good sized hand mic, a nice normal sized hand mic for a hand mic. Unamplified. Just a plastic unamplified handheld mic. And yes, that was the thing I forgot to talk about is the range boost. The range boost, that's the switch underneath the meter, is on. And yes, you must have the precise picture of this exact radio because, I'm looking at the Dymo tape, KBW6767, and no, that was not me. That was whoever the original owner of this thing was. Somebody here in Fresno, because I got it from here in Fresno, just a few blocks away, actually, from where I am. With that, back to you.
Sounds excellent. We're getting a lot of good comments on the audio from listeners, wherever they might be. Let's see, I'm loading the picture. There were some other pictures, but I'm just going to use yours. And I was trying to see. Okay, there we go. If I click on it, sometimes I get everything. No, there's no information except that it's in Sam's CB8. I guess I can turn my microphone up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Sam's CB8, and that it was originally, that's not a bad price, $189.50. So just a little more expensive than the general radio telephones. But a nice, this is like the Lafayette's and the E.F. Johnson, your standard-looking old tube radio. Lots of chrome, knobs, no fancy wood, case or anything like that. It's very functional, and of course it works well. So back to you for one more transmission, and we thank you for getting us started off.
Oh, yeah. It is in Sam's CB8, which is at least my CB8's from 1965. And that's one of two couriers in that particular book. And incidentally, remember last week I checked in the Demco Travelier. That's the first radio in that book, so they're in the same book. Lots of chrome going on in Sam's CB8. Back to you.
Got to have chrome for those tube radios. Oh, there is one. I can't see the writing on it. I'm going to assume that is either an external speaker. It almost looks like it's added. External speaker, a headphone jack, over.
I'm sorry, what?
In the right-hand side, I just saw that there. Almost looks like it was added later, but is that a phone? No, it's got a label, but I can't see what it is. Is that headphones or external speaker?
Yeah, it says phone, but it does both jobs. You can hook an external speaker up to that, or the PA speaker. That switch there on the right, to the right of the speaker is a CBPA switch. And yeah, you plug your speaker or your headphones into that. It's phone jack. That was not added. That is original. This one's all original.
All right, and I see that. I saw the phone, so it obviously was not added. It's part of the deal for $189. Thanks for the Courier 23 by ECI. Looking good and sounding good from the shack tonight. Thanks.
Man, thanks for letting me check it in. Was there somebody else wanting to break in? Somebody kept keying on you, and I guess kept keying on me. I thought maybe they were trying to break in.
Well, it might be an old tube radio tuning up, because I could tell the carrier was moving around, and that's what we do here. We search for those tube radios. The old tube radio network. Oops, if I don't mess the microphone up, looking for any and all check-ins. Let's do... I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to try it. Let's see if we can get the Jingle Singers to come out and play. Yes!
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
For you, you, and you. Let me go back to the control room here. And I want to get... I want to get the approval of the safety manager, 23 Skidoo. I moved the microphonium way up in the air, but I pointed. Actually, I don't like that. It's putting shadows on everything. How about if we put it this way? I don't know. What do you think? That is kind of in the way. I think maybe I should go down lower, but then it's in the way for everything else. So maybe I should wear one of those headset things. I can put it way. Let's go like this. Let's go way out in front. Now that doesn't look good. Sorry about that. Sorry, I'm taking extra time. I could do something like that. Anyway, we are listening for Radio 2345 and whatever. And it was like a winter day today. I was outside all day. We got rained on at the concert, but not too bad. It was a little windy and chilly, but not bad. It was like either being up in the mountains or being at the coast, as they say, the coast of California. It was kind of fun. The air was super fresh. I think if you look at the AQI, the air quality index for the Central Valley, which is usually awful, it should be like the best day all year. We are listening for your radio check-ins. I think everybody's out at the fireplace. One other thing I'm going to try, and this is a blast from the past. Let me see if we can we get it queued up. I'm looking at Chet. He says, give it a try. All right, I'm just going to bring it in. See if we got it queued up. Here we go. Did that work? No, that's the Jingle Singers.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
And you say this is
okay, here we go.
Crystal over.
Right here in
we're talking with Phil. Tell the Jingle Singers they're done.
Old Tube Radio.
Okay, this is Phil.
In one case, a remote transmit head.
SWL 56.
Remote head in the other piece, and a separate speaker. Over.
Really? All right.
I think this is from 10 years ago.
Picture of this.
Let me check here. My eyeball. Yes, it's a 500G.
He's on International Crystal Manufacturing.
I don't know, about an 8 or 10-foot umbilical cord that joins the bulk of the radio to the control head, or the remote, as they call it.
Explain again that this is more than one unit sitting on the table there?
Yes, correct. This was a radio that could be mounted, per se, in the trunk of your vehicle, the bulk of it, and then a relatively small, lightweight
control would be mounted somewhere in the dash. This one had multiple choice voltages, and this one is running on 110, but it could easily run on 12 volt or 6 volt. So it's kind of an enigma that they would have had such a long cable for 110. However, it does have the ability to go into your vehicle, and you, like I said, you'd mount the bulk, the heavy part of the radio in the trunk, and then run that umbilical cord however you chose to, and mount it under wherever, because the control head or the remote head is relatively small, and I think it. I don't see any tubes glowing in it. The channel selector's there, the volume is there, and the squelch is there, and then of course the microphonium plug. There is an external speaker as well. Over.
That wasn't who used to do that. Gonset used to do things like Phil.
I want to see what radio
this is. An International Crystal. Over.
See what radio is talking
about. That's correct. International Crystal model 500 Golf. It's a 3-piece radio.
Wow, I don't even think I even have that on my list. Anyway, the old Tube Radio Network. Listening.
A remote transmit head, remote head in the other piece, and a separate speaker. Over.
Really? All right. We have a picture of this.
Let me check here. Eyeball. Yes, it's a 500G.
And that was a replay, Phil, from well over 10 years ago. I think the radio is sold. It doesn't exist anymore. And 23 Skidoo brings up an interesting thing. You know, 23, I'm not even sure. I'll have to check our OTR insurance policy. I know our fire insurance policy is out the roof because of that one little errant video I had back in, sometime where there was just, I don't know, it looked like a birthday cake maybe. Just a few flames coming out of something, and the insurance rates shot way up. So we just have to be careful with what we do around here. Hey, Joe, you're staying warm out there today, I hope. One way to do that, one way to easily do that on a Saturday evening is to turn on a radio or two, which it sounds like you have. Take a transmission.
Thank you much, Dennis. Yeah, a few of them on right now, and I think temperature went up about 5 degrees. Dennis from World Radio Labs, I'd like to check in my Hustler bass.
The Blue Radio, I mean, if we only get a couple radios tonight, you certainly can't go wrong with choosing Big Blue to put on the screen. I will put it on our screen here at OTR while you take a transmission. It is sounding good. Over.
Roger. Doggone it, a little radio doing a big job for a whole lot of space out there. Dennis, 7 tubes, and little tubes at that. Nothing outstanding. It's got its carrying case. It has its microphone hanger in case you decide to go mobile with it. It has a volume, squelch, and a slot for your favorite channel, which would probably be 11 in our case. One day we'll put a thing in there to hopefully operate channel 11, a little crystal. Does have volume squelch, a couple of little knobs on it. They're in the dark right now. I don't see them too good. A nice little meter, well lit, in a horizontal position, and a nice little speaker. A little, probably looks like a little 2x2, but you can't go wrong. I'm on a Turner Plus 3. Back to you.
You cannot go wrong. WRL, World Radio Labs, The Hustler, created by Leo Meyerson, who lived to be 100 years old, believe it or not. He attended college in Lincoln, Nebraska, where he planned a career as a musician. He was an accomplished piano and French horn player. He started working in his father's grocery store in 1933, where he opened his own store. And he became a successful operation at the grocery store. So how did a grocery store guy get into radios? In 1953, when he had the radio company, the name was changed to WRL Electronics and then to Globe Electronics in 1956. But I think this obviously was produced when there were Globe radios, but I think he liked it so much he had to put that WRL back on it over.
Well, I imagine so. What a creative guy. Kind of mixed electronics with vegetables. Yeah, he must. His mind was going in the right direction all the time, I guess. He got successful with the radios. That was a good thing. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking on this particular model right now.
Absolutely. Here's another one. Leo, Mr. WRL. Leo's interest in radio developed in 1920 at the age of 9. It was that year that KDKA in Pittsburgh, that was the first years of actual AM broadcast radio, commercial radio coming on there in 1920. So you might say that Leo was one of the first SWLs in the country. As a station went on there in 1920. He said Leo listened for them and logged the ones he heard. In 1924, Leo found a set of plans in a magazine that described how to build a breadboard transmitter. Leo, already known as that crazy Meyerson kid, built one and put it on the air, but it wasn't legal, of course, so he's transmitting in 1924. So he knows the excitement of getting on the air. You know, making a little radio that you can get on the air. He played the piano and records, so he broadcast a little music, put his own radio station like KDKA, and that earned him the distinction of being the first broadcast station in Council Bluffs. It also caused him to find 2 visitors at the Meyerson front door who wanted to see the transmitter and advised him that it was not operating legally. So he was the first bootlegger, too. Over.
Oh, boy. Interesting man. Doggone it, from all points there, for sure. And I'm glad that he succeeded with creating this particular radio. In my favor there, it being a Hustler base, and I'm being Mr. Hustler, which was kind of neat there. But he sounded like an interesting man.
Very, very interesting guy. Lived to be 100, and never trust those 9-year-olds with the receivers and the transmitters. You never know what they can do. But here it is. You're making the tradition live on, and no doubt he figured he probably really did start pulling out the tubes until the radio didn't work, and he put in that number 7 tube and says, "We're done." Thanks for the Hustler from World Radio Labs. It's always a treat, and you always make it sound good.
Well, Doggone, we appreciate that, Dennis. Like I said, a very interesting man. I mean, I thought to be a little bit creative in my time, but I guess you couldn't compare some handheld tin can walkie-talkies we did manage though to be a little bit. I guess people would say strange, but doggone it, he sounded interesting. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole lot for letting me check in from World Radio Labs, my hustler base.
Thanks for bringing it by. That is why the Old Tube Radio Network is here on Saturday evenings, to make sure everyone gets a chance to jump in the air chair and drive the tubes around. OTR is listening.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Hey, Joe, sounds like it's you and me, buddy. Go ahead. I got my Rolodex open. I'm thinking I might bring it to the EF Johnson, but take a transmission.
We'll try one more time, 60.
All right, 60. Can you hear the Old Tube Radio Network? Over.
I guess it would have helped turn the modulation on, turn up the volume on the radio, like they used to say. Turn it up. Shame on the duck plucking miss. Dennis, I'd like to check in from my Johnson radio, my 223, Johnson 223.
Are you're paying tribute to the purveyors of the reason we are sitting here in front of in our radio rooms? Leo Meyerson, one of them, and Edgar F. Johnson, another one. Both hanging around in the 1920s and 1930s. I don't know if Edgar F. worked at a grocery store, but he certainly did tinker with radios, and you have one that his company put out for a long time. Take a transmission and give us the number again.
Doggone it, Dennis. This 223 is an all-time favorite of mine for sure. There, this was given to me by Louis, number 93, I think, at one time. I know he passed a few years back, but this one here, I've always enjoyed it personally. The looks, the durability of it looks like a radio you could count on. And I don't know too much about Mr. Johnson, but if there was such a person, but this is a 223 Johnson Messenger.
There was a guy, Edgar F. Johnson, I believe, was his name. Born, let's see if we can find out anything about Mr. E.F. Johnson, or not. Well, we'll get there, but you've got one of their forays into Class D 11 meters. The company was founded in 1923, the E.F. Johnson Company in Waseca, Minnesota. Somewhere on your radio, when you get a chance, you will probably find Waseca, Minnesota stamped on there. I'm thinking they stayed in that area for a long, long time. We could find out. Before I go further, and I don't know if I've asked you this, but someone had asked what we thought might be. We talk about what would be the best radio, but we talk about what would be the worst radio, and that is subjective. We've already had someone say it's or Chrissy say that it's the one that doesn't work when you want it to. But in your radio history, is there a radio that you had? And it doesn't have to be a tube radio. It can be any CB radio that you had that you wouldn't recommend to anybody. Over.
You know, that is a difficult question. Before we get started there, 10 tubes, all 23 channels for the listeners. And a radio, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It was an Allied 23. My very first radio. A guy couldn't do much with it, but I didn't particularly like it, and I didn't care for the way it received.
And who was the manufacturer of that?
It was an Allied. Yeah, I think it was a 23 channel. Oh, about half the size of a shoebox. Allied 23.
Yeah, there's some of them were made for them by somebody else. You never know. So that's your memory of. I'm glad that radio's not on the shelf anymore. So that's what you got. All right. Well, that was just a quick question. I'm just trying to see if there's any conglomeration of the same radio. We can steer people away. But somebody asked about the worst radio, and I thought, we never really think about that. We always think about trying to get the best. Edgar F. Made some of them. He made a lot of them, and you've got probably on his line of CB radios probably the one he thought was the best. Over.
Well, I think so. I hope so. And I know that that question is going to be difficult for a lot of people because it's not. And to me, it's like a question you don't like the radio, you throw it out the window. And wherever it lands, who cares? It's a hard question because you work with what you got, no matter what kind of shape it's in or whatever to make it better. But to speak of, to throw one out the window, no, I've never. I've given them all a fair chance. And made them a little better, and with a little bit of power, better antenna, and so forth. That's a tough question I think it's going to be a tough one for everyone. But somebody might hit you right on the nose there with, they put it on the floor and stomped on it. And maybe they'll remember the name and something like that. But anyway, this one here is a well-lit radio. Very simple. Got your volume and your squelch. Your squelch turns on the set. It's like a sort of a backward situation. You got a nice 4x4 meter on it. Strictly base. This one will not go mobile.
20.
That is correct. He had, at the time, there was the Messenger 1, the 2, and when these radios came out, E.F. Johnson was already getting into, and 20 acknowledged, don't go away. E.F. Johnson was already getting into transistorized radios, the 323, the 123, that were specifically made for the car. And I think that's why they sold a lot of the base stations, because then you were kind of prompted to buy their matching solid, that was a big deal, I think, at the time, solid state transmitter to go with it. And I want to give credit where credit is due. We were talking about 1923, Edgar F. Making his company. It was Edgar F. and his wife Ethel. So I'm curious why E.F. Johnson never had a radio called the Ethel. There was a car called the Edsel that was made for, Ford's son or brother, right? So I'm thinking maybe there might have been an Ethel, a CB radio or some radio by an E.F. Johnson Ethel in honor of Ethel Johnson back in 1923. The other thing about the company, 1958, they started manufacturing equipment for CB, and that was the year that, Class D was created, or established, I should say, by Citizen Band Radio, by the FCC. So E.F. Johnson was right there. All right, we'll go back to you, Joe, for a final transmission, and then we'll get into Harvey. But thanks for the history lessons and 2 radios that were produced by people that started back when radio was a new thing, when maybe there were 100 radios across the USA beaconing and listening. And here we are 100 years later, and we're doing the same thing. Back to you.
Well, thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it. Interesting there for sure. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole lot for letting me check in the 223, Johnson 223. I am on the original stock mic. It's almost operated as if it were a hand mic, but it is a stock mic. Thanks a whole lot, Dennis, and we'll let Harvey go.
All right, thanks. So listening to the old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glow in the Dark. We're on Channel 11. That's 27085. Let's see. Things... Not everything is broken in the shack here tonight. I can still keep going. Hello, Harvey. If you can hear me now that the skip is over. Over.
Okay. Can you hear me at all? And how do I sound?
All right, I hear you, but it sounds like you're severely flat-topping the radio. Almost sounds like you're talking through a kazoo. So I would back off just a skosh. Over.
Backing off. Hang on. Okay. How's that there?
All right, I hear you. It is not pretty, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm hearing flat topping, or if I'm actually hearing some kind of like overdriving audio malfeasance in the way of the audio circuit. It's got a little bit of funkiness, or bad audio connection, which I don't think it is. But I hear you. Over.
Okay. I'm backing the modulator down.
Oh, yeah. That's better.
Okay. How's that there?
That is about 85% better. That pretty much cleared the issue up.
Well, I know what's going on. Hang on.
All right, this is the hang-on frequency. Jukebox 502, the worst radio you ever owned was a North Star 9500. The worst radio I ever owned was a North Star 9500. Really bad receive. I haven't heard of that. I'll have to see if that's in our database there.
Okay, I'm back. How's that there?
Go ahead and take a longer transmission. Somebody asked a question. The E.F. Johnson 223 Messenger 2 is a 23-channel radio. That's how it got the 23 somewhere in the name. So go ahead, Harvey.
Okay, yeah. My receive isn't as good as it should be. How's it sound?
Better. You have semi-eliminated the audio distortion, and so go ahead. It's still there. It seems to have something to do with the amount of audio. So that's why I pegged flat topping, but I'm not sure that's the case.
Okay, I've got the modulator back on. Backed off the mic. This has a carbon cartridge.
Oh.
And the hand mic. I'd have to go in and bypass a couple of things.
You know the trick.
When I look, it just does not seem like I can do it. It's hooked up way different.
He doesn't need to do that.
Than other carbon cartridge radios. And I have a few.
Sounds like it's Charlie Brown's teacher. It is. It's an adult person on the Charlie Brown. That's funny.
High on frequency.
Okay, and you know what to do, Harvey. You have a carbon microphone element in there. You know how to fix it. We'll talk about that. But someone, who was it? Was it Foxman described exactly what it sounds like? And you know the Charlie Brown TV series. And whenever there's an adult on Charlie Brown, and you know, whenever there is an adult talking, you know how they talk, whether it's a teacher or an adult, you know. Someone said it reminded them of that, and maybe that's not too far. Can you take the carbon element out of the microphone? A lot of times it looks just like one in your old telephone handset. You open it up and it falls right out, and you need to bang that thing on the table, or maybe if the microphone won't break, you can take it, you know, and bang it, you know, without breaking it on the table. Just keep banging that thing to get that carbon unlocked up. I bet that would do it. I know I have seen and heard that fix before here on the Old Tube Radio Network for a carbon microphone.
Well, possibly somebody tried that. The back had a big long crack in it, and I re-glued it, so I'm not banging anything. But I have replacement cartridges. I just haven't had time to do it.
Right, okay. But, yeah, you might be able to put, if you had an old telephone. I don't know. I have one here, I think. I'll have to go get it. Just unscrew it and drop that thing out and put the new one in. What was I going to say? Oh, you know, you still haven't told us here at the Old Tube Radio Network, the listeners, the Old Tube Radio operators, what the radio is on which you are transmitting or attempting to transmit, so I can find it in the Rolodex and we can get a picture of it, hopefully. Over.
Well, I have checked it in before, many moons ago. This is from Messer, MESUR Matic, Messer-Matic Corporation or whatever. Let me look it up here. Where is it? Messer-Matic Electronics, Warner, New Hampshire, the Saturn 100. And on front, it says Saturn with picture of the planet Saturn with the rings, and then in quotations below, 100. They also, this is their bare bones radio. Volume, 12, 5 channels, crystal receive and transmit, S meter and output meter. And on the squelch control, it's a push-pull where when you activate it, it mutes the total receive audio. You don't hear anything. You key a radio up next to it, nothing. Anyway, then you push it again, receive is all back. Kind of weird, but there it is. It's got, because I have the top off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. It's AC/DC. It's operating AC. I've replaced all the caps years ago, the electrolytics, and some of the tubes. I may have to check some more tubes. But their other model, the good model, the better model, is the Saturn DBX15. 3 separate meters, 23 channel receive, and I think it's around 12 channel transmit. And it's got compression and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, this is a carbon mic. I can bypass it, but I have to really do some thinking on it. I'll explain it to you later on the phone, what I think the problem is. But anyway, I'll turn it back to you. And if Chrissy is listening, stay by the phone. I'm going to call you about the D104 dust covers. Alrighty? So there you go. Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, well, that radio is tough. I mean, you just took what we call in the AM world an old buzzer transmission, and it didn't. I didn't have any carriers behind it to find out if you're drifting frequency, and I don't have the SDR picture up. but it sounds like an old tube radio. In fact, you're already, just from that transmission, you're already getting some fans on that radio. Can you spell the radio name, the Mesurematic? I didn't get that. Can you spell that again for me? Over.
MESUR-Matic, M-A-T-I-C, Electronics Inc., Warner, New Hampshire. Anyway, there's an ad, a couple of ads. If you look up the Saturn CBX-15, I couldn't find my 100, but they have pictures of the radio, nice color pictures, and a black and white ad on the CBX-15, which isn't what I have. Mine's got a big circular speaker grill on the left, says Saturn with the planet 100 below to the right, and then the meter to the right of that. Then below left, volume and squelch, A, B, C, D, E for the channels, and then to the right, the mic plug. And I've got an Electro-Voice 714 microphone, but 714s are listed as ceramic, but this is carbon.
All right, and it does have a carbon microphone sound. It's very, there's no high frequency, there's not a lot of low frequency. It sounds like you're on a telephone, but it sounds good. Mesurematic Electronics Corporation was registered on October 9th, 1961 as a foreign profit corporation. Well, there you go. You may have to take it overseas. With the address of 50 Grove Street, Salem, Mass. Okay, the business. So it was a foreign profit corporation. So maybe they were trying to get in on the CB craze back in the early 60s. And did you say that was an AC, plug-in-the-wall unit, or was it 12 volts?
It's plug-in-the-wall, but it could go DC also.
All right, well, that's a new one on me. It's not even in our Rolodex. But, of course, you said there are pictures of its other items, so maybe you have the only one of that radio in existence.
Well, I don't know. The received crystals are 14 megahertz. I can't find another radio that has that in all the searching I found, other than the CBX-15. Anyway, I thought I found one, but it's got 13 megahertz for receive. So I'm stuck with what I got, which is low receive, but maybe I can fix that. I'll see what I can do.
All right, before you go, I found the CBX-15, so I want to put it up there. What a cool-looking radio. Whoever said they liked it, I see why. And you know what you have in front of you. So is the CBX-15 anything like what you've got?
Kind of. Let me look here at the picture again. Okay. Excuse me for coughing. Take the three knobs on the right, move them toward the left. Volume, squelch, then 5 channels selected. No quarter-inch plugs, but after you move the knobs to the left on the right, you have a big 4-pin Amphenol mic plug. There's a knob above, which this does not have. Then you have the SRF meter, which looks to be the same. Okay? But then to the left, where my speaker is, you have 2 other meters, I'd say maybe 10% or 15% bigger than the one on the right, okay? One on top of the other. And I believe the speaker, which I have in the front, on the CBX-15, it's on the left. And on the back, it's got that weird plug on the far right in the picture, and a couple of controls or something to the left. Mine's got one on the left for the X tuner. And that's about it.
All right, well, we even have the box, the picture of the box, Measurematic Electronics. All right, we even have pictures of the box for the Saturn. All right, well, it's very interesting that they have the three big meters, and one of them is percent modulation and RF watts. So it almost looks like they were trying to go after, some of the bigger radios and the tunable receive. And how many channels is the one you have over?
5 channels.
All right, and this is the CB. Other one is an 8-channel. Looks like it had it should have had an external crystal socket there off to the side. All right, well, this is certainly a new one on me. The company was out of the U.S., but it sounded like it was some type of foreign thing. I checked. They made all sorts of other things, so it's very strange that they would get in to this. Maybe they they thought better of it after they built. You'll have to check to see if you got a serial number on your radio. It may be number 1. It may be the only one. Over.
Well, I don't know. Nostalgia Air, where it lists all the radios, and you have to go through a whole lot of groupings. The CBX-15 might be in it, and this might be in it too.
All right, and your audio just came way up. It's still a little bit fuzzy, but it just your modulation percentage just came way up.
Okay, hang on here. Let me see if I can tap on something. Nope. On this database, WTB CB radios for my collection through Nostalgia Air, the CBX-15 is listed. But I can't bring it up.
Okay, and now it went back to the fuzzy Charlie Brown mode again. So you're working it in. All right, and I can't remember you having this one on the air before. Maybe that's when I wasn't here. It sounds good, but don't keep it around. It's sort of, you've created a saga now that occasionally you're going to have to bring it up and tell us what you've done to the Measurematic Saturn. Did I even write it down? What is the full? Is it a Saturn 100?
Yeah, it's a Saturn 100.
All right, there's the Measurematic Saturn 100 CB radio. And does it say Saturn on the bottom of the receiver, a receive dial like the 15 does?
No, right in the middle, between the speaker and the meter, it says Saturn. Then there's a picture of the planet Saturn in black with the rings, and a little to the right below it, in quotes, it says 100.
We need pictures.
Yeah, you told. Oh, that's right. You told me about that. That is actually very cool. the price of the radio just went up, and I think is Saturn one of the planets that's aligning with the moon out there tonight. All right, I'll let you go, but you gave it a great workout. It hasn't burped or squelched. It's got the audio thing, but we're not sure. I'm not sure that could be. You've got something attached to it. That could be messing it up, or it's got it may have some really spurious thing that's happening that's just throwing the modulator out of whack. Who knows?
Okay, if you go to CB Tricks, Measurematic Electronics Saturn CBX 15, you'll see some nice color pictures of it.
We are showing that right now. It's from CB Tricks Pictures, courtesy of CW Forever, and there are many pictures. We're on the top one. That's why I asked when I saw those 3 meters if you have the same thing on yours.
Well, I wish I had that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's changed. The audio is changing, sometimes for the better, sometimes not. But the saga of the Saturn will continue. So keep up the work. I guess the next thing is really to see if you can replace the carbon cartridge, or tickle it a little bit, or as you said, I don't know, maybe bypass something. But you're going to have some probably impedance wackiness going on.
Okay, I just banged the mic. I don't know if that did anything.
Well, it's in the good loud mode now. It didn't change a lot, but it's behaving.
Okay, I'm only doing about 60% modulation. Okay, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I agree, because you were down. I had the R-band meter up here way down at minus 25, so I actually kicked my receive up so that we could hear you, because you've got all the SWLs on the edge of their seat as we jump in the rocket ship with Captain Harvey and take a ride on the Saturn. More later. I'm going to stand by. It is getting late, and I want to make sure everybody that wants to get in today gets in before we sign out for this week. The Old Tube. Thank you, Harvey. The Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio is working, lurking, and glowing in the dark, and we're standing by.
One from the Radio Lounge.
And then after that, me.
Okay, after that, me. The Radio Lounge sounds like a good thing, and 47, we will get you checked in, and I'm glad that you have made it to the lounge. Over.
Thank you. It is extremely pleasurable to grasp this D104 and say greetings to all from the Radio Lounge on a Robin T123.
There you go. Probably our newest radio tonight. Let me get back to the control room here. Somewhere there's a picture of the control room, and there it is. And then I will add your Robin T123. That was the Bravo, over?
Nope, this is just a 123, and it's funny, you'd say it's like the newest radio. It certainly does not look like the newest radio. There are cosmetic blemishes on the radio. How's that for a polite way of saying it doesn't look quite so perfect? But no, it's the 123. It's got the Magic Eye tube. Even after all these years, still winking and blinking, and looks great. It's hard to speak into this microphone and not be kind of transfixed by how nice this Magic Eye tube looks.
It sounds good. You have two Robins. The earlier model, the older model, is the one that has the really loud audio. You can whisper into that thing. It sounds great. And then it's the B that you have to have the range boost turned on. So yeah, this one, I don't know what you've done or how it's tuned. It is perfect for your voice. Over.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you. I don't. I'm hesitant to use the non-amplified radio this late at night because I don't like screaming this late at night. But yeah, this whatever this is doing, it seems to be working. According to the Magic Eye, it takes no effort whatsoever to make both ends of that the meter kind of meet together. I'm afraid to bring it up. I have not checked the battery in this microphone in years. I'm talking more than just a couple years. But hopefully, I'm sure it's still kind of doing its job. Great radio. It's going to start getting warm this next coming week, and I'm looking forward to using this on the road. Of course, it's in the 110 AC mode right now, but with just a mere change of plugs, it's a fun radio to use on the road, and I'm super looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, I am too. Boy, what a very cold, windy day. We're out all day at a concert for the radio station, but this is the last hurrah for winter weather. And so time for mobile radios. While I have it keyed here, I want to say 73, good morning to Hans, who's off to a POTA event. Says, see you next week. Good luck. Have fun on the Parks on the Air. Fun stuff, interesting, exciting stuff. Also, hello to Smarty Jones out of New York. And who else joined us? Rochester, 915. You are all listening to the Old Tube Radio Network here, where it is still Saturday evening in the West Coast, or near the West Coast of California. We're talking with Michael here. Mike is on his Robin T123, the glorious Magic iTube, letting him know that his modulation sounds marvelous. Back to you.
Yep, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and everyone just sounds great. What a great way to spend it Saturday evening. And on that, 73. Back to you, sir.
All right, thanks for jumping in, giving us radio. I think it's number 6. Number 7, it was Harvey who checked in on something earlier, but it wasn't checked in, but now it is checked in. And everybody's giving you some thumbs up, and it is on. If I said it was the B, I misspoke. It is a Robin T123. The radio before the B from before, it's 1972 and before. Was there another station that wanted to get in a radio before we sign out here tonight?
Quiggy?
And Harvey, I do have your Beagle listed because you checked in early. And the Quickie, go ahead, over.
Yeah, this is me again, 135 on the Courier again. I was just wondering if you could tell, did I get rid of the hum?
It is still there, but it seems to be lessened. Is that a word? It seems to be less of it. How about that?
Okay, yeah, all I did was turn the plug around. Sometimes that does the trick, sometimes not. I have to have Harvey go through it and see if we ever replace the caps on this thing. I don't remember with certainty if he ever did. But I just wanted to give it a try. Sometimes that trick works, sometimes it doesn't. Thanks.
Indeed. I can't tell if it's like a microphone thing, like you've got a little bit of, shield touching something. It's constantly there. It is definitely down in the background, but it's noticeable to me. But it's certainly not. Considering what you're on, what you're running, and what this is, the Old Tube Radio Network, it's like an old friend having a buzz in the microphone. Over.
Yeah, it's a 60-year-old radio. They're not all going to be perfect. But again, I just wanted to give it a chance. Now when I listen back to the replay, I can hear it for myself, see what I think's going on, and see if maybe I should throw it at Harvey. Say, Harvey, make it go.
Could be, yeah. It is certainly not a game stopper. So if you can't get to that, not a problem. Okay, going to do some counting and mounting here. I'm going to try. We're going to try the Jingle Singers. I'm going to do it, see if they'll come to the radio live or not. Yes, but that's not the one.
Are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Hey, Cliff, you want me to be a pack lid?
Well, we look for things.
We look for things to make us go.
Hey, Cliff, did you check your memory battery in the radio?
Negative.
Yeah, that's probably what's causing the hum.
Oh, sure.
Or teach it the words, then you'll be fine. Hey, Joe, I heard you. Take a transmission.
Thank you, Dennis. I'd like to check in my blackface. I know it's getting late already. I'd like to check in my blackface Johnson T00.
All right, no problem. I will find the item of interest. What radio we have up there now? It's the Robin. So let me get that, and we'll go to the TWO while you take a transmission. We did, I think, Edgar. It was Edgar and Ethel are somewhere. They are somewhere out there, and they're saying, if that OTR guy doesn't check in another Johnson tonight when it's out there, there's going to be hell to pay. So go ahead.
Yeah, doggone it, it's going to be kind of rough not to check it in. It's been on for a while. This old blackface here, my workhorse, This is definitely my workhorse here. It has a little light there in the background behind the screen. Has a couple of dials. It on the right side has your channel selector, your ABC on the left, and then you have your volume switch at the very bottom on the left, and on the right side you have your squelch. Dennis, we got 10 tubes here, 10 tubes, and possibly I think we went over this once before. Could be mobile, but right now I'm using it AC, and I am running on a D104 amplified.
Always sounds good. That was a great workhorse radio. Not much to it, but, you know, we were talking about E.F. Johnson. They built 100-pound radios, 100 watts. They're transmitters anyway. I'm not sure if they built a receiver back then, but, of course, this is a transceiver. So they knew what they were doing. One of the first ones to do FM radios back in the 60s, business band radios. So it is under a great company. Crystals sound like they're in good shape, and you've got it set up with the great microphones. You can't go wrong, and it works perfectly here on a Saturday evening.
Yeah, doggone it. I was interested one day and kind of looking at how she was designed, how she was created. And then, of course, the 223 popped up. And I said, oh, boy, what a transition. One vertical, one long, straight-back radio. And then you go to the 223, which is looking at you horizontally. Doggone it, what an idea there for sure. But anyway, I wanted to get this one checked in. 10 tubes. I was going to say 20 tubes there for a second. 10 tubes, 10 channels, and of course the main channel, channel 11. Thanks for letting me check this one in. I've got one more.
All right, I don't know if we have any radio that checks in with 20 tubes. I think the Mark III has 18. That gets close. Your Messenger 2, they touted in the ad now with the tunable receiver. 23-channel tunable, 10-channel transmit we talked about. 2 IF stages for improved selectivity. That's over the Messenger 1. Excellent. Adjacent channel rejection with the Messenger. Whiteface did not have it all. Ask me how I know that. Improved noise limiter circuitry. So when the Volkswagen Beetle, when the Bug drives down the road, you're not going to hear the grrr. And a plug-in provision for the tone alert selective calling system, which we've heard and talked about before. So fire up the radio, and we will hang on before we sign off the air here. The Old Tube Radio Network.
60. 47.
And 60, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was another breaker in there.
Yeah, we will pick them up after your next transmission.
Okay, Dennis. I appreciate that. I'd like to check in my Robin 23. T123B.
All right, I have a feeling the Robins may be doing pretty well here. We earlier had the Robin T123. That was the radio before, just before the one you were on, which is the Panasonic number 2 chassis, which would have been a long time running had they not have to change to 40 channels. So back to you for transmission. I'll get a picture of it here quickly. The T123 Bravo. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was listening to the other one. Love the modulation, and doggone it, good sounding radio. Anyway, back to this one here, Dennis. We've got a little modulation like going on and off here. It may be me. Who knows? Kind of operating that little modulation light. A few other features, lights for your extra speaker, lights for your PA, oh boy, lights for your TX, lights for your RX. I can't go wrong here. It looks like a Christmas tree lit up when they're all flashing.
That is the fun part of it. And then if you've got the room darkened, you will see the tubes glowing through the, what is it, convection cooling cover. Might have little shadows dancing on the wall. And yeah, indeed, as you're talking, that modulation light should be blinking because you sound mighty nice on the Messenger, on the Messenger you did, but on the Robin 23-channel transmit and receive It has got every option I think that chassis probably had out on the front. Back to you for transmission, then we will pick up 47.
Okay. Once again, then we had your volume, your squelch, fine tune, and RF gain. A few features in the back there, real quick like. Switch there for the meter, so you can kind of zero it out, and a little bitty hole in the back there for a peek and tweak, which we don't get into too much. Okay, Dennis, I'm out of here. Thanks a lot. That does me for my end, and we'll bid you a good night and listen to 47.
We will do that. I want to say also good evening to our stations who are signing out, watching the video, who are in Sunday morning, staying up late with us, and any station that might be watching, if they're watching the video replay. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. We are here in Central California, something we do on a Saturday evening, and we have been doing it a long time. We did it back in the 20th century, and here we are in 2025, still going strong, listening to our radio operators collection. They share them with us and you. It might give you an idea of what, if you weren't around the CB bands in the late 50s, 60s, and 1970s, here's the sound of the radios and pretty much the sound of the people as well. Great demeanor and having a good time on a Saturday evening on the radio, which is, that happened a lot back in the day when your favorite television program went off and you had listened to the Montevani 78 on the record player so many times, it's like, let's turn on the CB radio and see what's happening. 47 is your turn. Over.
Oh, thank you. And I wish I could listen to this back and back, but this is another Robin T123B as in Bravo. So it's the exact same radio that you just heard. I don't know what the other gentleman's distance is to you. He sounded great. Nor do I know the antenna that he's using or the microphone, but I'm super curious as to the difference in audio. On this Robin 123B is in Bravo again. I have the unamplified, what I think is the original stock microphone handheld, again non-amplified, and what am I doing? An IMAX 2000 antenna, really essentially just roof height attached to the chimney here. So not ideal situation going on here, but it's really fun just listening to everyone's audio. You know, on both my Robins over here, the 123 and the 123B. Different audio, but still nonetheless both are really enchanting to listen to. Everyone's transmissions on there. And now you know the mystery of being an SWL, just that, the fact that all these signals, all these noises, all these people are in your Radio Shack. You just have to, one, figure out the right piece of wire connected to the right piece of equipment to decipher what is going on. That is the mind-blowing thing. Number two, none of us are going to get a bill tonight, talking over the radio anyway, for this conversation, right? No one is going to give you a bill at the end of the month and say, here's, re-up or you won't be able to use your radio. Nothing like that. It's good stuff. Here's a picture. I put a picture up, not only to get the radio, but the box. Sometimes the boxes go for as much as the radio, but cool box. 5-watt, 23-channel, the looks and performance of tomorrow by the designers and engineers of today. So you have taken us into the future with the T123B. Sounds good. Audio's not bad tonight. You must be speaking up, and you're going to get yourself in trouble. You know that. I always get myself into trouble. I do have to switch gears abruptly. I don't think I've ever made a comment on this, and I know we probably have a couple of at least one other radio that wants to check in. But there's a toggle switch on the front of this radio that I don't think I've ever talked about. Let me switch hands. It's in the upper right-hand corner. I think it's really dark in here right now. It's got to say across the upper front of the radio, I don't know what it says, something Citizens Band's transceiver. And on the right-hand side of that word transceiver, I've got a toggle switch. I have no clue what that thing does. It's a mystery.
I'm not going to switch it right now. I want to say it has something to do with the antenna. I have no idea. But other than that, this radio looks really good. It looks, I don't want to say museum quality, but pretty close to it. With the exception of that one modification. I feel so guilty.
My guess, and you are correct in not wanting to switch it, and I don't have a picture of radio that has one. I think Joe has one on his, and it's probably a switch that was put in to either engage another crystal multiplier thing or do something that will get you above, back in the day, above channel 23 and do something like that. So we might have to check it somewhere on some type of frequency counter to see where you go, to see what you're listening to. I suppose when when Skip is in and you turn it on during the day, you could flip that switch, and if you still hear people talking, that's probably what's happening. You're changing your channel selector frequency, so now channel 11 is actually listening to 26, and then 27, 28. I'm not saying for sure, but I think Joe said he had something similar to that. So keep it on channel 11, where you know you can join us here on the Old Tube Radio Network, and we'll pick up the next station. And speaking of that, that's an apropos segue, because Ron C., any idea why all the CBs that were not 23 channels came with channel 11? Even the old radios, the tube radios that had one channel had channel 11. Here's what we've discerned, and we think it is correct. Back early when there were really rules that the FCC wanted you to do, which was, not talk to stations, different stations. You were supposed to talk to your same license. It was a husband and wife. It was the kids talking to grandpa. It wasn't hobby communications. It was like a telephone. It was, come home and pick up the bread on the way home, over. And there were certain channels that were designated for stations of the same call, like, Unit 1, the base, and then stations with different calls, more business-like, KEO 8492 to KB 77722. And then there was what was known as a calling channel, where you could leave your radio on channel 11, like a calling channel, and then go off somewhere else. So a lot of people said, well, what they do is they put channel 11 in that first radio that you buy, because that's the calling channel. That's where you'd hang out. And then in theory, you would add another crystal and go elsewhere. That's what we think. That's why so many, and that's why we are, and really, that is a good question, Ron, because that is why we are here on channel 11 way back 40 years ago when we started doing this, because just like you said, every radio always had a channel 11 crystal in it, regardless of what else, it was 22 channels or not. So we thought, well, we got to be on channel 11 because somebody might find Uncle Elmer's radio in the garage, and you know what? If we're on channel 12, we won't be able to talk to them because it'll only have channel 11. Okay, a 25-word or more answer. Back to you, Mike, for a quick whatever, and then we're going to pick up the other station before we sign out of here very late. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, the only last thing I can say, a couple of folks have talked about, DC operation on their radios, and it always puts a smile on my face to warn you. Don't just assume, at least on the Robin radios, that a DC power cord from one Robin radio will work on the other. Please don't ask me how I know this. Don't put a DC power cord from a 123 on a 123 Bravo. Just do yourself a favor. Don't do that, please. And on that, I think I'll send it back to you. Thanks for letting me check it in. What a great evening. I certainly appreciate it. 73 from the Radio Lounge.
All right, my pleasure. That's why I'm here. That's why they make me don the seersucker suit and the pocket protector, because that's what we all look like. You see those old ads, radio ads, two-way radio ads. The kids are always dressed up, and the mom is June Cleaver, and the guy's in a suit. Now, I don't have a pipe. I don't smoke, but that would probably be part of it too. And they had a pocket protector somewhere, so that's what we're doing. The Robin T123, thanks for bringing it by, you and Joe, from 1972 to 1976 when they were manufactured, and then they went to 40 channels, and you couldn't even sell a 23-channel radio, so things changed. It is 11 tubes, like you said. If you go to oldtuberadio.com, Is that where it is? Yeah, oldtuberadio.com. It looks like there's an operator's manual and a schematic for somebody who says, yeah, I got one of those, but I don't know how to use it. And 12 tubes. Oh, and it does say that it is 12 volt DC, 115 volt AC, and there's 2 transistors along with the tubes, and I think that's what the transistors do, some type of DC to DC conversion. Okay, at 10:30, who else? Was there someone else waiting? And we will pick you up on the check-in here. OTR listening.
Hey, Dennis, how bad does this sound?
This is the basic Dennis. You sound good, over.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
Well, take not an old buzzer transmission because they're giving me the wrap-up sign behind the monitor here. So give us a 25-word or less transmission, and we'll see what you got.
Well, I put another cartridge in. One I thought didn't sound too good. It had a question mark that I put on it. And this one, when I shook it, I thought I heard carbon granules or whatever rattling around. Anyway, it's in there, so what's it sound like? No modulator.
Okay, that sounds like a carbon microphone. It has the highs rolled off, the lows rolled off, and it has the muffled sound. But there's no of that distortion. Remember to set like flat topping. Give us a little. What are the tests we all do? Orange furniture, sizzling sausage, boom, boom, boom. Give us the 3 highs and lows, and we'll see what you got.
Okay, what the modulator on?
Oh.
Orange furniture, sizzling sausage, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it is back to, as Foxman, apropos. You sound like a Charlie Brown cartoon when you do that. So there is something. It's either you got super high peaks, right, that are messing up the modulator, or that thing has got some extra splatter IMD, and I don't have a scope here to look that's just messing it up, but very bad.
Okay, I backed off the mic and turned the modulator on.
All right, now you're undermodulated and muffly.
Okay, now I'm closer to the mic.
You're still muffly. You sounded fine when you first came on.
Okay, no modulator.
All right, now it's getting that scratchy sound again. That's weird. The modulator doesn't bring your signal up that much. It's that 50-50 thing. It's like now you're okay, now you're not. So I don't know if you can find a happy medium with modulator on. The Harvey range boost on, and the distance. This cartridge though has the appearance of sounding better.
Okay. I'll just have to work on it a little bit more.
Okay, and it comes and goes. It is certainly not as clear. If you want to watch the replay, it'll be at the end of the tape. Just put your finger on the reel and rewind it. You can kind of hear what's going on. It changes a lot. But when you first came on, it was like more better, and then it definitely doesn't like the modulator either way. So keep tinkering on it. It is a cool radio, the Saturn. That is back on the Saturn, and we will find out more in future episodes of the Old Tube Radio Network.
Roger. Oh, by the way, the old cartridge has a date on it. 6/14/57.
That sure sounds like it's, and I think these radios are newer than that. That certainly sounds like somebody pulled it out of a telephone and put it in there.
Or they just had a whole bunch left over from the 50s. Put them in.
Could be. I don't know, but it's consistent though, so it's definitely a microphone thing, or radio combined with a microphone thing. But I hear you. The SWLs are saying something that's like, oh, it's good, now it's not good. No, it's good, now it's not good. And that's exactly what we're hearing.
Okay, well, that'll do it for me. Hope Chrissy's listening to the stream. You give me a phone call right now. Okay, catch you next week, Dennis.
All right. That you know, that Harvey, that cartridge is as old as we are. Maybe a little younger, but it's been around this up. Anyway, thanks for coming back and trying it out. That is why we're here. That's what we do on the Old Tube Radio Network, why we started, for people to come on and say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Does this radio work? And, of course, the shortwave listeners coming in and your radios tonight. So I am going to sign out of here. And because many things in the control room are broken tonight, I'm going to see if we can get the Jingle Singers and Mr. Announcer to sign us out here. Here we go.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
And this will be the current and final OTR totals. If we go to the shortwave listeners, we had 21 on page 1, 18 on page 2, 18 on page 3, and 24. Do we have that many? Who counted this? They're pointing at me. All right, it's my fault. And 24 on page 4, so that makes a total of 39 and 42, so 81, so to speak. And all of you out there listening in, you don't have to have any number to do this thing. There's no secret handshake. The clubhouse door is open. It's not even a club, right? We're just a voluntary. We used to say the voluntary association of people who are interested in old tube radios. So thanks for joining us. Radios tonight we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It grew as the evening got later. So I'm not sure. It was just a cold, windy, kind of dreary day, but then the sun came out and it was nice fresh air. So people were doing something. I think what happened is it got so cold people wanted to come in to the radio room to warm up, turn on the tube radios. That's a good thing to do. Radios tonight. Who was the most heard manufacturer? The most heard manufacturer was indeed the Robins with 3. But we started off with the Courier from ECI, the Courier 23 with great audio. If you're listening, Cliff, sounds good. A little bit of AC note or not. Listen in. What do you think? It's certainly not objectionable at all. From World Radio Labs, Leo Meyerson and the gang. Way back in the 1920s, not the radio, but the company, and their entry into Class D 11 meters with one of their many radios. They had Globe radios as well, one called the Hustler. Pull out all the tubes until it stops, put a tube back in, and paint it blue, and you know the XYL will say, I want that one in the living room. It's okay for you to bring the radio in the house now. Thanks, Joe, for that. Also, you brought by the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223 from Edgar F. and Ethel Johnson, starting their companies back in the 1920s as well, and sounding in the 21st century. The Measure, M-E-A-S-U-R Matic Saturn 100, that we did not have a picture, but a kind of reasonable facsimile thereof, making a repeat appearance just a moment ago. Stay tuned in future episodes of the Old Tube Radio Network to find out if the Saturn will get its rings. The Robin T123 from Mike SWL47, sounding really good, always good audio on that. That is definitely your best radio for audio. And the Browning, I don't know. I think the Robin is good. Messenger TWO from EF Johnson, their radio for base and mobile up until probably 68, 70. I don't know, when they started doing solid stuff. Solid state radio. Messenger 2, thank you. That was Radio 8. And, we also had Harvey on the Browning Golden Beagle, the R68 T68, their first Browning to be called the Golden Eagle. The first Eagle was before that, the R27 S23. After that, we had the Robin T123 from Joe, thank you, and then the Robin T123B from Mike to make it a kind of the birds. And there was, the birds are pretty good. We got an eagle and 3 robins, and hopefully they laid an egg because it's spring. I know I've laid an egg. 73, everybody, thanks for joining us wherever you are. Get on the air, do something like we do. A Get on the Air night doesn't have to be tubes. If you're studying for your ham radio license, the band is still good. We're still in cycle 25, as you can hear on 11 meters. So keep going with that. You'll have fun doing it. If not, do what you do best on the radio and stay safe. The Old Tube Radio Network saying, you do the math. 72 plus 1. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Dennis.
It's been a long radio day today.
But that sure beats a good day at work.
Well, that's where I was. It was the FM station. We were doing live radio. Before I go, the big voice there, tell me about what's going on with the audio. Over.
Well, I got a MXL 990 in line. I've got a 12-band EQ made by, I don't know, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's over in Ukraine, and they do a 5, 8, 10, and 12-band EQ, which I got the 12. And trying to get it dialed. But I think I'm really, really, really close. Because it sounds really good in my headphones. And I'm kind of watching on the YouTube. It sounds, I like it, kind of. I don't know if there's anything else, maybe pointers or tips I need to roll off of or more of.
Yeah, we'll do it quickly here because I got to get out of the air chair. You have a very good box. I can't remember the guy's name, Yuri or Yustov, the UR2Q. That is a very popular box. Well done. You've got plenty of audio. What we are going to do for AM, it is the trick. It is called the Mud Eliminator. And so unfortunately, I don't have one of these, and I don't have a picture in front of me. I need to know on the bottom side, the low end of the frequencies, what the numbers are, like 80, 160, 240. Give me the bottom three numbers on the EQ, over.
I've got 90, 150, 220.
Perfect. All right. And then you should have a way where they would be in the middle, and it might be 0, and then if you go low, you're minus, and if you go up, you're plus, right?
10, Roger.
Okay. So from 0, where is the 90?
It is at plus 15.
From 0, where's the 150?
Plus 15.
From 0, where's the 220?
Plus 10.
Okay, we'll do the whole thing. So you should have some more. So give me the other ones up from 220, and all you can say, I have this number, and it is plus or minus, and I'll make a chart here.
Okay, 300 is at in between 0 and plus 5. 430 is at between 0 and negative 5. 600 is the same. 850 is the same. 1K2 is at between 0 and plus 5. 1K7 is at plus 5. 2K4 is at plus 5. 3K3 is at just above 1 plus 5. And 4K7 is at plus 10.
All right, so for the first one here, we will keep it simple. And you're going to key up, or is it key down? And you're going to go to your 150, which is at 15. And as you're talking, you're going to bring it down to 0. And then as you're talking more, you're going to bring it down to minus 15. So you're only working with the 150 that is now at the plus 15. So you can take a transmission and talk, but you can even say, I'm at 15, and we're going down to 10, and then we're going down to 0. There's 0, hello, radio, and then you're going to keep going all the way down until it stops. Over.
Okay, we're at 15. Down to 10. Down to 5. Down to 0.
All right, and keep going. Will it go below 0?
Yes, sir. We are at -5. Now we are at -10 audio. And now we are bottomed out.
Okay, go ahead and put it back to 0.
That's 0 right there, Dennis.
Okay, now go to the 220, which I think you said was at +15, and do the same thing running it down.
That one's at 10, and we're at +5. Now we are at 0. Now we are at -5. Now we are at -10 audio. And that is bottomed out right there.
Okay, and there's a lot of... We've got a lot of echo because it's got the return coming off the net, because I know you're listening. And you've got, I'll call it reverb on it. You've got, I think you're a little heavy on the reverb. Go ahead and put that back to your +10. And then we're going to go to the 90, which I think is at 15, and do the same thing. You're going to roll it down as you talk.
All right, I took off the echo and the video. So we're at 15, 10, audio, +5, audio, 0, audio, -5, audio, -10, audio, and that is bottomed out.
Okay, and do me one favor here, because your radio is passing the low frequencies, but not a lot. Go from your bottomed out, and then as you're talking, go ahead and slide it all the way back up. We just kind of want to see what the difference is.
All right, starting bottomed out, I get -15. Now we're at -10, rolling up to -5, and we are at 0. Now we are hitting +5, audio, now we are at +10, audio, now we are at 15.
Yeah, that's going to depend on your radio. You probably should have a lot more difference, but the radio's probably passing just at that frequency. So I don't think I would really cut or boost that one. I'd have that closer to 0 or +5. And that was the bottom. Okay, so there's one top end that I think you've got too much. Let's go to that, where would it be? 2.4. Let's go to the 4.7, which I think you probably have correct. That's the one that's at +10 at the top, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just go ahead and bring that down to all the way below 0. I just want to see what the difference is.
That was a 4.7, correct?
That is correct.
All right, that's bottomed all the way out there.
Okay, and then do the same thing. You're going to talk with the bottom down and then raise it all the way up. I'm just kind of see what your radio is passing.
All right, now we are at -10, rolling up to -5, rolling up to 0. Now we are at +5. And then audio, we were at +10 where we were, and now we are at +15 audio.
Okay, so your radio's passing some of that, but not a lot. I don't think I go much more than +5 on that. I'm trying to find that there's a little bit of, I wouldn't call it distortion, but musty. I think there's one of those, what is it, 1.2? Okay, let's go to the 1.2, which you have at around +5 or in that area.
That is at 0.
That's at 0. Go ahead and take that, as you're talking, take that one all the way down.
All right. That's 0, audio, audio, -5, audio, audio, -10, audio, audio, and that is bottomed out.
And you had that at 0, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and put it back to 0.
All right, that's at 0. Audio 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
Because that's interesting, because you got the 4s and the 6s and the 850s at minus, in the minus area. What was the other one? 7, 2.4. Oh, let's go to the, there was a 300 something?
300.
Yeah, that's it there, the +5. Go ahead and do the, when you key down, do the 300 and bring it all the way down.
Okay. That is just below, in between 0 and +5. So now we rolled it down to 0, audio 1, 2, 3. We are at -5, audio 1, 2, 3. -10, 1, 2, 3. And -15, 1, 2, 3, audio 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you know, you're still going to have to keep that probably at 0. I wouldn't go too much above 0 on that. Typically on the graphic EQs, and I wish you could see a picture of mine. It's in the, I'm not actually using, I'm using parametric. But what you do is you create what they call, you create a smiley face, which you may have done with the, you know, the peaks, the corners of the smile being on your, we'll call it the 90 and the 4.7, which you sort of have. And then you slowly dip all the other controls down in a curve to make a little smile. That was the way we used to do it when we, well, let's just start. And you've kind of done that already. The other thing is, on boosting too much on a graphic equalizer, sometimes it colors the audio more than you want. So I would be careful at putting anything at the +15 level, which I don't think that you have. You're at 10. So you're not bad. That is another thing. And obviously you've been listening and working on it, because I think you've got it pretty close to what it will do. And you've got to make sure that you're not overdriving the radio. And that's where compressor limiters come in. I know I'm going longer than I want to. I'm going to do something here, and you can kind of, maybe you'll hear the difference. You might not. Let me bring up my control panel. And I'm working on the bottom frequency. So I'm doing the same thing. Here's like at 50 hertz, there's 70 boost, there's a 90 boost, there's a 110 boost, and there's a 130 boost. And I don't, can you hear the difference on that? Over?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you got to be careful, because sometimes you get to that there's like, yeah, I got more bass, but it's the wrong type. It's like a boomy bass. It's like, it's not as clear as it was. So I'm at 130. I'm gonna bring it back down. So that's sort of what you're looking to do. You want the bass, but you don't want it to be boomy. And the other thing you want to check is, what does your radio pass? That's why we went to the low frequency at 90. Turn it all the way up, turn it all the way down. How much do you hear? If you hear a lot, you've got a radio that's passing the bass you can work with. If you don't hear much, then turning it up to try and get more artificially sometimes it doesn't work. It backfires. Same way with the top end, the 4.7. Let's see. Can I do that? Let me see. This is like my 4.7, 666. So I can turn it down 66666, and I can turn it up 6666. And you hear there's like somewhere there's probably a space where that works. And you've got to find out if your radio is passing it, which we sort of did. So that's 4.7. And you are passing a little bit of that. So I think you're on the right track for what you're doing and listening to it. Sometimes it's hard to listen into another radio that's close by and hear it. But this is all recorded, by the way, on the video. So if you want to go back and just listen to what you did, that might give you an idea of what I'm listening to. And I'm listening on a really wide receiver. I'm listening at like 15K wide. So I'm hearing everything you're doing, and it might give you an idea. But I think you're on the right track, because it's definitely got some audio going on. Over.
All right. I keep playing with it, and like it sounded really good in my headphones, and you know, Snowbee sent me a couple of videos, and it sounds really good, but it seems like it's just missing that something, just that little something that would probably get me to super glue it, nail it, don't touch it. You know what I mean?
Right. Then the other thing is, and then playing with your levels. When you do the smiley face, you start at like, well, you're going to say nothing's going to be above +5. So we'll start with +5 at either end, and then the next one's going to be +2, and the next one's going to be at 0, and the next one to be at -5, and that's -5, and that's -3, and you kind of make it that way. So you can kind of experiment with the amount of excess, you know, where you're doing something. I would just be careful of putting anything at the +15 mark, because sometimes you get an artificial sound, and it's like, yeah, it sounds good, but it doesn't sound like me. It sounds kind of robotic. So that would be something to watch out for. And then the other thing, obviously, is levels. If you watch on the video, I actually have a modulation meter that shows me my levels of modulation. I can kind of keep track. In fact, I guess, gosh, the video is still up, so my apologies to anybody watching, but I'm going to put it on the screen, and I'm gonna break it so you can kind of hear. So right now I've got it tweaked so the modulation, the amount of gain in my audio is good. And how am I going to do that? I'm just going to I'll just turn up the radio. I'm just going to go and turn up the radio, and I'm going to break my meter. So I don't know. Maybe that sounds good. I can't tell. But you'll see, if you're watching the video, you'll see the meter going wild and all the lights coming on and just wacky stuff. And in my ears, it sounds kind of good, but I'm not sure. Does that sound okay?
You definitely got louder, but you could tell the difference. It sounded better turned down.
Right. It gets louder, but it gets mushier. And something goes wrong with my voice. And you see it on the, if you're watching the video playback, you see those meters all in the red. You think, wow, that's good. Let me turn it back down. Radio test 1, 2, 3. So now the bottom meter's around 100, the top meter's around 120. I'm not as loud, but since we're close and we're kind of rag-chew talking here, it's like, yeah, that sounds, I could listen to that. See, I have to do that. I'm talking for 2 hours. Who wants to listen to me for 2 hours? So I better try and sound as good as I can, right?
Yeah, but it definitely cleaned it up for sure. For sure, it wasn't so top-endy.
Okay, and that's my point with the +15s. You may find that you can do your EQ with a lot of controls, below 0 and a couple are at the top, and then use your mic gain on the radio or the gain out of the box to adjust your level that way to keep the levels from getting that mushy sound. All right, I'm not sure if I've helped at all. I think you were, like I said, you've got a good ear, obviously, because you had it very close, and it's definitely, I could immediately tell you were doing some audio enhancements going on. So you have jumped down the rabbit hole, and my condolences. Over.
Yeah, it's taking a little time, but see, it sounds a little bit better on the video too. I'm trying to talk and hear at the same time, but on your end right now, does it sound better than what it was?
I think you're good, and what in a sense what we did was basically what I did by turning a couple of the controls down, not much, from the +15. You in a sense turned your audio gain down without adjusting the radio, and I think it cleaned it up just a little bit. But there may be a sound that you want. You're tailing your sound with the equalizer, so you might go in and change a few things. We determined that your radio does not pass a lot of bass below 100 hertz. So by artificially trying to push it up, the radio is just going to ignore it. And sometimes that messes up adjacent frequencies when you do something like that. So you got to keep that in mind. But you've got a good tool there. If you get a radio that's like a Cobra Cam 88 or something that's going to pass a lot of low frequencies, you will find those two bottom controls are going to do a lot.
Okay, well, I got a starting point now because I just, you know how it is. You want to be perfected. So I got a good starting point, so I appreciate it.
All right, very good. So I'll say goodnight to you. I left the stream up so this would record, so sorry that I'm blathering on the stream, but doing audio is fun. I'm a group here. You can see on the microphone the ESSB, that stands for Extended Single Sideband, where, sidebands at 3 kilohertz. Our AM is both upper and lower sideband at 6 kilohertz, so on AM your audio is naturally already better. When you get to sideband, it sounds kind of wacky, and that is why you're cutting off half of your bandwidth. So we're in a group that experiments with the extended ESSB, trying to get that sideband to sound just like AM, and there's a lot of finesse, and that's basically what the commercial broadcast stations do with processors, limiters, equalizers, whatever they do to make it sound natural and to make it sound loud and to make it sound not distorted. So it's a fun way to go and a part of the hobby, if you will. I mean, it's easy to do. You're just putting something in between. You're not going into the radio with a screwdriver. You're just putting something between the microphone and the radio, and it can make a big difference. All right, have a great evening.
Hey, thank you again, Dennis. I just kicked the echo back on, so hopefully it sounds easier on your ears right now. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You have a great night. Appreciate you.
All right. Good evening from the Old Tube Radio Network. And embroidery is $15. Okay. And then Chrissy just added her item. Harvey, are you still there?
That hurt, yeah.
Okay. I see Chrissy just made a post on the chat mentioning what we were talking about with the microphone, the cool microphone covers for your D104ium. And the embroidery, if you want it, so they are still on.
Yeah, one of the SWLs around here called me and is very interested, so I'm going to grab mine and bring it by so he can look at it and then place his order. Anyway, so anybody that wants one, $10 plus the shipping. They're made out of cotton. You can wash them. And $15 with the embroidered call letters, name, whatever, something you want on there. And I think it's a good deal. I'm going to get some.
It's a darn good deal.
So I can not have to walk around barefoot because I've been using socks.
Yeah, that's I remember doing that, making the little sock windscreen. So no, have your knitted thing is washable. It's customizable, and it'll be yours. And you can put it on your pictures, on your QSL cards, on your QST, QRZ picture, or right on whatever you do if you've got a video going on. And tell them Chrissy sent you. All right, good night, everybody.
Roger. Sounds good. We will check with you next week. And by the way, I'll have, I hope, another unusual named radio for next week, too.
Oh, the saga continues. I like those little teasers because then people will tune in.
Well, I don't like to tease too much, but yeah, this one, I've been bumping into it in the garage, so now it's in here, and I'm going to do a little work on it, see if I can get the audio a little bit better, and then fix the receive a little bit, and get it performing a lot better. And then if I can ever find that CBX-15, that's very interesting. Okay, we'll let you go. Catch you next week.
That is a cool radio. All right, yeah, anything to keep that goofy guy with the pocket protector from talking too much, I'm all for it. Good night, 72+1, the Old Tube Radio Network.
I wear a pocket protector all the time.
You're my hero.
I have trouble keeping it dry in the shower, though.
Over.